Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fourth Age of Katalia. I am your DMGM storyteller, whichever you like to call me, Forgotten Dreams, and I am joined by a lovely cast of people, starting with Bouncy.
Hello, I'll be playing Tuo, a turtle barbarian.
That is not how Bouncy normally talks. That is just his character.
No, that's not how I normally talk.
All right, next up we're going to have Mel.
Hi, I'm Mel, and I will be playing David, and I am a rogue.
You may recognize her from our vampire campaign, Children of the Cup, and you might recognize the next couple of people as well. Next up we have Azzy.
Hello, I'm Asi or Asira, and I will be playing Yasmin Windrock, or known as Yas, and she is a wizard.
All right, the man, the myth, the legend, Seth himself.
Hi, my name's Foriel, and I'll be playing Cinnamon.
Okay. Next up, we have Shannon.
Hello, I'm Shannon, and I will be playing Fail, and she is a Tieflin bard.
All right, fantastic. And someone you guys probably haven't seen in a long time, but she has occasionally been on shows that we have streamed. Eva!
Hello, I'm playing Nasa, who is our Air Genasi druid.
Fantastic. All right. And just like we normally do for our vampire games, we are going to have a bit of a viewer warning beforehand, just in case any of these people decide to do anything. So yeah. We'll also have our usual announcer, for those of you familiar with Children of the Cup. Seth, why don't you take it away?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a vampire stream, so we wouldn't really expect that much of horror and that much of fucked up craziness. However, just in case, if things turn weird or a bit too much, feel free to take a break. Don't force yourself to sit through if you don't feel like it, as in take good care of yourselves. Also keep in mind we're all playing characters, so please don't hold it against the players, hold it against the characters. We'll be deciding and making choices in their names.
Fantastic. All right. Beyond that, we'd also like to dedicate this first episode to my grandmother, who is turning really, really old today. I'll be nice and not say her age on TV. But she is a jewel in the world, and she's still kicking, so this one's for you. Either way, bringing us in. So, go ahead and get some ambience going a little here. So I apologize about the noise controls. I am fixing it. Uh-oh. I ran into my first problem.
I think we're in a tavern.
Yes, you are in a tavern. However,
It's a
I
crowded
cannot
town
adjust
recording.
my volume controls. So I have to refresh real quick. And let's see if I run it again, if my volume controls work. Fantastic. There we go. Got it working. All right. So, to give us a little bit of an introduction, not too long of one, welcome to Katalia. It is a vast landscape of a continent that once was the only continent on this world. Beforehand, it was about 6 times the size that you currently see. However, after a series of cataclysmic events, the world split, several continents broke off. However, the central continent of Katalia remained and decided, why change our names? We're already the awesome ones. During these cataclysmic events, we had the events, one particular event called the Fall of the Dragons. Beforehand, both Bahamut and Tiamat equally ruled on 2 sides of the planet. And of course, Bahamut and Tiamat being who they are, they decided to feud. This led to several bloody battles, ages of tyranny, and a general dislike for dragons on the whole. However, thanks to a group of mortal kingdoms and tribes joining together underneath the banner of Bahamut, they were able to defeat Tiamat. And then she came back. And so a cycle began. Hundreds of times, heroes from all across the realms would gather, fight Tiamat, win, return home, and only have 10 years of peace. Until finally it was decided that they had had enough. A plan was devised to finally banish Tiamat and all of her kind. So, with the world's best magicians, they all gathered, formed their master plan, spoke with Bahamut, and he lent them a bit of an artifact, one that has been lost to the ages and is not recorded in history outside of the fact that he gave some artifact. With that artifact in hand, the various different magical universes of the world banded together, defeated Tiamat one last time, and then cast a massive banishment spell, sending all of dragons to the various different planes. Unfortunately, this did have a few repercussions. The Dragonborn, kobolds, and any of their kin also began to die off and disappear from this world. Several empires raised up in the ashes and began to lay claim to the world. And eventually, those empires fought one another with the powers of magnificent mages run wild. This led to the Great Mage War, which eventually cracked the world into several pieces as it stands today. After these wars were fought, peace was found once more, and things went kind of good for a while. An astral gate was discovered that allowed free travel between the various different planes at no physical or mental cost whatsoever. A new resource called Broomstone was discovered, which allowed the creation of airships and, with a bit of money, the first Sky City. The world began to industrialize, and slowly, empires grew and grew and grew, economically, agriculturally, and population-wise. Everything was going fine. But, as people are people, once again more conflicts spewed up. Progression on various different industrializations halted, wars were fought, lots of people died, and mages got the general blame for all of it, even though this time they weren't at fault. Hundreds of years of slavery followed for those of arcane persuasion. But with one lucky emperor sitting on the imperial throne of Katalia, slavery was for the most part abolished, only being brought down to what is now known as indentured servitude at the most. Things started to go good again. However, it wasn't good enough. And the final war, the Great War, broke out. The Astral Gate was destroyed, leaving unfortunate hundreds spread across this land that were not originally from this plane, nor have any way to return. And funnily enough, even if you use banishment spells, they seem to still remain. The same is true for people who went through the Astral Gate and were stuck on the other side when it was destroyed. They no longer find the ability to be able to get back home, and no one is entirely sure why. Beyond that, since the end of the Great War, a time of peace has slowly begun to return. There are new borders that have cropped up all over the world, and the central continent of Katalia itself has changed a bit. We have several new nations that have cropped up, such as Nimloth Dor, the elves to the north, or Kazdul Zarak, the dwarves to the central north, the Ironfell Alliance to the northeast, the free cities of Middleshire, central north, eastern Katalia, which is directly within the middle of the continent, proudly sitting, and then western Katalia, which gladly sits, if you're looking at the map, in blue off to the left. Finally, while the Great Deserts remained untamed for centuries, individuals decided to begin traveling into the Great Deserts and formed three great nations: the Sabir Confederacy, the Galan Oron, and the Timony Nutag. Massive merchant empires that sprawl across the Great Deserts to the south. But this isn't where our story picks up. Our story picks up in Marienburg, the massive port city of the Eastern Katalia Imperium. Many people know what a medieval port city would look like, however, this is slightly different. It's about 8 times larger than your normal one. There's extreme overpopulation, and the docks have been clearly expanded massively over the years. And most recently, the first skyports were built here in Marienburg. There's a hustle and bustle of individuals that make their way through the various busy streets, as you can see overcrowded bazaars and marketplaces. There are all sorts of individuals from all over the world: elf, dwarf, human, tiefling, you name it, you can find it here. It's one of the central melting pots of the world. as the camera makes its way through the winding streets of Marienburg. It eventually stops outside of a medium-sized tavern, 3 stories. It's called the Widow's Whisper. And within, the camera would come to rest over the shoulder of an individual. At first they look like a normal individual, normal height, normal size. But then you quickly realize, as things come into focus around them, they are the tiniest individual in the room. Sitting on top of the bar top, drinking away at whatever drink they prefer. Cinnamon, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Well, on the counter is a tiny man wearing a bit of leather-like armor that looks like it might have been made in a forest. It's leaf-like, almost. And the back of the armor is actually open, and out of the back stick like these dragonfly wings. As this tiny man is a fairy. He's got caramel-colored skin, dark hair, which has like a raven highlight on it, so it's kind of blue eyes, and his eyebrows stick out of the side of his head because they're like these massive moth whiskers almost. And yeah, he's basically emptying a cup that is way too large for his size with a tinier one and drinking from that.
Fantastic. Cinnamon, you're a bit of a regular around these parts, so people do know you, and people have no problem sharing what drinks they buy with you on occasion. Behind the bar, behind you currently, you would see, well, for you an extremely large, but for everyone else an average-sized orc, full-blood orc. His name is Caldo, and he's the current barkeep and owner of this wonderful establishment. Leaning down, he kind of looks at what you're currently drinking, goes ahead and hits you up with a small tankard of whiskey. Says, that one's on the house. Just for you taking care of that favor for me yesterday.
Oh, thanks. Wait, you really don't want me to fly right out of here, do you?
Not this time, no.
Well, still do, thank you. And I'll plunge my my tankard in it.
Fantastic. You plunge away and you watch as this slightly syrupy whiskey pours into your tankard. It's like a fireball, but it's a little sweeter.
Well, this is good stuff. This is sweeter than the usual.
Yeah,
Well-
it's my own personal mix. I added a little meat in there.
I like it. I might actually do that myself sometime. I really need to get some proper bottles my size because everything here is just too big.
Me and a few of the patrons have been talking about that. We're thinking about maybe pitching in to have some special deliveries. What do you think?
Well, I'd be fine with that.
Good, good. We break away from this conversation to see another individual as the door to this establishment opens. Jasmine, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
All right. An average height human, female, in about her early 20s or even below 20, maybe 18, 19 years old. Walks in, she holds a big book in her arms, but she has it open, and she's trying to write something as she's walking and almost stumbles in. She has this purple-ish robes that have some acid burns on the side of them and some holes in her right side on the right arm sleeve. But it's made of fairly good material. And she looks up, looks around, and then moves over to the bartender. What's for food today?
Food today? Well, I think we're having the usual wolf liver with a side of gravy, mashed potatoes, and rice.
All right, I can take half portion and some mead, please.
Okay. You want the blueberry kind or your usual?
I take the usual. I don't want to risk it.
All right, I can accommodate that. And he goes ahead and goes behind the bar, quickly pours you a drink, puts it down carefully onto the bar counter to make sure not to spill it, and says, "I'll get to working on that food for you. Just give me a few minutes. We've got a few tables open. Feel free to find one."
All right, thank you. She takes the pen that has this green feathers on it, and like the green feather pen with some red details, and just drops it in the air, and it poofs out of existence. And
Neat.
she takes
Yeah.
the cup and starts to walk. What did you say?
Neat trick.
Oh, thank you. She shuts the book and then holds it tighter, and then she nods to you, and she walks over to the closest table
Okay.
that is
So,
empty.
down here on the first floor, there are quite a few round tables that you have, and each one has its own, in sort of a macabre fashion, animalistic trait to it. A table here shows a prominent, beautiful bear skin. A table there shows a dire wolf skin, so on and so forth. Each table has its own little theme going. Overall, the bar is decent. It's not the nicest establishment, but it's also not the worst. Luckily for all of you, you won't be finding sticky floors here, as the floors are kept tidy and clean all the time.
Right, what team does the closest to have?
There is one with a jaguar theme. That is the closest and emptiest.
All right. Is it completely empty, or is it someone sitting there?
Someone's clearly taken a few of the chairs and moved them over to the Panther table, but there's still a couple chairs left there, and it's empty. No one's currently occupying it whatsoever.
All right. She goes there and she places her mug down and the book beside it, and just before she places the book, she looks like it's not wet, and then she places it down, and then she checks the chair if it's wet, and then she sits down. And
Waldo.
opens the book and starts writing again.
Fantastic. Caldo sort of scratches his chin a bit and says, "All right, well, let me go get her orders, and I'll see you around." And he quickly turns back towards the shelves behind him. You can see that there is a smaller than him door that leads to the back kitchens. And as he opens up that door, there's the sound of cooking in the back. Quickly, you hear him yell out, "2-0! We got another order of meals! Go ahead and get that
Okay.
prepared.
All right.
Tell Casca to make the rice better. It's a little too al dente, or however they say it."
Casca, make the rice better. It's too al dente.
You look over, and there's a half-elven woman, probably in her early 20s, with jet silver hair, who is slaving over several rice pots, working away at them. She kind of just gives you a slightly peeved look before returning back to working on the rice. As the camera shifts back over to 2-0, what would we see?
I'll just shrug and say, he said it. I just repeated it.
Yes, yes, I heard him.
So, you see a light green-skinned turtle with a band-aid over his nose, a big-ass shell on his back, and a lot of, cooking materials, strapped to him in pouches and stuff. In the corner, you would also see a very big hammer that he always keeps around. He looks very muscled, but with a very kind smile, and is just enjoying cooking for the people in the inn.
Yeah. 2-0, you would know that this is a temp job you get once a week. You make roughly about 8 silver doing this cooking job. But even though Caldo really doesn't need the extra help, once he heard your story about you being a cook who was looking to open their own place, he figured he could give you a bit of experience, let you make a little coin, and he doesn't have a second chef on this night anyways. Tonight is a Friday, by the way, for all of you who are interested in record keeping. Say, cold winter's eve.
Tua would definitely have been yelled at a few times for messing with their recipe and like trying to make something new out of it, and not always the flavor combination being right, as he does not have that much experience in what goes together with flavors.
Absolutely. And actually the door to the kitchens would open one more time as Caldo sticks his head in the door and says, "And no more cinnamon. Not you, cinnamon.
Aww.
More cinnamon."
You see Tuo just put a bottle back in his pouch, very disappointed, about to throw it in the pot. Fine.
Closes one more time. And as the camera begins to...
Slowly takes out the bottle again and still puts some in, but less than normally, and puts it away.
Okay. You just hear a small quip from the other side of the room. "You're going to get in trouble for that again." The camera kind of follows Caldo out of the kitchen room back to the bar. And as it looks over the crowd, we would see another individual of interest sitting at a table that's relatively empty. There are a few patrons who refuse to get up and leave as they were in a vigorous card game, which is just petering out and ending. And you can see 3 individuals packing their stuff up and beginning to scooch away from the table and leave. But one of those individuals sort of was nonchalantly eating away and sort of in a world of their own. Stays at the table on the other side. Is it Nasa or Nasa?
It's Nasa.
Nasa, would you like to describe yourself?
Yeah, Nasa is about 5'5", 5'6", and she's very slender looking. She has some armor on, leather armor, of course. She's got really long white hair. Her skin tone is of a pale blue, almost so pale blue that it almost looks like a normal pale coloring, but there is a tinge to it. Her features are pretty angular. If you weren't careful, you would think she might be elven, because she does have the pointed ears and everything else. And her hair is kind of half up, half down. And yeah, that's Nisa.
Fantastic. As we see this individual, Caldo would sort of look over your direction. Can I get you a refill of, what was it you were drinking? I'm sorry.
It was honey mead. It was nothing like...
Oh, yeah, okay. Coming right up. And
thanks.
Goes over, pulls up a pitcher, pushes past the bar, makes his way over to your table, and fills up your cup.
Much appreciated, thank you.
No problem. You need anything, you just ask. And he makes his way
most definitely.
Makes his way back behind the bar. Oh, this place is getting weird. As he says that, Fel, if you'd like to describe yourself as you walk through the door.
Fel, as she strides on in, a kind of long, elegant tail kind of like swishing behind her. She doesn't even bother to hide it anymore. Kind of hard to when you're quite a shocking red colour. She has short hair with quite spiky bangs and horns that kind of wind amongst themselves behind her to kind of almost kind of go to her collarbones. Makes you wonder how she puts on her velvet garb, but hey, tricks of the trade and all that. And she just kind of hums along, this spring on her step, with a case swinging in her hand and some papers, maps. It's kind of a bit scattered, but she seems comfortable enough.
Fantastic. Caldo kind of looks up as you enter in and says, "Ah, Fel, how you doing? Are you performing tonight?"
Are you gonna get some front row seats? Come on, Shorty, they can give you an early night.
All right. Let's get this set up. You want your usual fee?
She nods. Have to get rid of those, facial jitters. But hey, why don't I help you pour so you can get your ass out of here quicker too?
Okay. All right. Cool. Go ahead and pour 3 whiskeys and a mimosa for table 6. That's the
Got
bear
ya.
one. And he goes back to the kitchen door one more time. And he says, "All right, I need one more meal for Fel."
Okay.
And he reaches his hand in up to a shelf, grabs a small chest, and begins to open it. Go ahead.
For Fel, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You see, he grabs a small red pepper out of one of his pouches and adds it to the dish, making it extra spicy.
Fantastic. Also, she's gonna be doing her thing, so he kind of quickly just scoots himself partially into the doorway and says, "I'm gonna need to fill a couple of seats, 2-0, so maybe I go
I
ahead
don't
and-"
mind.
Yeah. Casca, you handle the kitchen in 4 minutes. 2-0 here's got to fill a seat for me. Casca kind of rolls her eyes. Yeah, no, I can do it. Only chef back here, running the bar. Woo! Rolls her eyes
I'll
one more time.
bring the dish with me then.
Yeah, do that.
He goes back to cooking, adding like 2 more peppers, like probably too spicy, but I mean it's a tiefling, you don't know.
You never know. You have heard of this wild ingredient known as the ghost pepper in the far west that tieflings are rumored to really like.
Yeah, probably those were the 2 or 3 that he already added in.
Fantastic.
Very overkill.
Very overkill. So it's so spicy that you taste nothing but the spice?
Yeah.
All right, great. With that, Caldo kind of finishes opening up the small chest. And the camera would see that he has a small coin purse within, and he opens up the slit to it, takes a peek in, shuffles around a few coin, pulls out 2 silver, zips it closed, and then closes the chest and puts it back up on the shelf. Makes his way out of the door, closes it behind him, and comes back over to Fel. All right, here's your usual fee. Thanks for the entertainment. I greatly appreciate it. In about 3 minutes, your food will be ready and all that. So let me go ahead and get the seats set up, if you don't mind. With that, Caldo makes his way around the bar and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, weirdos and flagons, we've got ourselves a special evening tonight. We've got Fel performing, and you hear a couple of woo from the crowd of individuals within, and a couple other individuals are gonna go, 'Who's Fel?' And one of the individuals who says, 'Who's Fel?' gets a quick knock over the head with a tankard, and goes, 'Oh, I'm just asking. Sorry, first time. I should shut up now.'" Within that crowd, as we look over them, and we can see those cheering, those in confusion, and those who kind of just are nonchalantly continuing on with their evening, we would see in the far back corner another individual. David or David, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. In the corner, there's a man sitting. He looks to be quite tall, standing at sitting at 6'5", and he's very slender build. Looks to be much more dexterous than strong, and he is, well, his facial structure is very angular. He is a beautiful man, honestly, and he with a sharp nose and sharp cheekbones. He has eyes that are sort of to the more yellow tone, and platinum, very light hair that is pulled. Half of it is pulled back into like a ponytail, and the rest is falling down to his shoulders. He's clad in very, honestly, fancy clothes. It looks like he really takes care of his appearance, and everything is neatly, like, everything is neat.
All right. And what is your drink of choice for the evening?
He's probably drinking a whiskey.
Okay, fantastic. The usual or the sweeter mead intermixed variety?
The usual.
Fantastic. So, camera pans out from these individuals a bit, as once again we're stuck back over the shoulder of Caldo, who carefully goes over to each table outside of Yaz's and moves them over slightly and starts gathering a couple of the chairs together. Sort of talks to a couple of patrons and gets them to move over to the chairs so that they can sit, watch, and enjoy the entertainment for the evening. It's about at that time, 2-0. Your time is up. Pack away your ingredients, pack away your utensils, and get ready to head out.
He also straps his big hammer to the two straps on his back, as he does not like to leave it behind.
Is there any special markings or anything on your hammer?
There would be some notches on it, like just a lot of tally marks.
Interesting. All right. Does it look like those have been carefully filed away pristinely, or does it look like a rush job?
Probably, like if you pay close enough attention, done with his own claws.
Okay. Fantastic. So you make your way out of the back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The ones near the door of the kitchen that can smell the food he's walking out with, I think most of them are happy it's not one of their meals. As he
cinnamon, you
bring
immediately
it,
get this whiff of spice that hits you and begins to overtake your senses.
Oh, I also smell cinnamon in there. Is that possible?
That is...
yeah, a little bit, but
I instantly look
Boss
at one of the
said
other patrons at the bar and I point at him. Don't say a word.
You just look at the patron kind of just looks at you and goes, all right, I'm not saying anything. And he makes a mouth closed motion.
People
Right,
keep
Phil.
telling me that I don't smell like that, okay?
Hell, go ahead, take it away. I think I'm gonna head upstairs for a few minutes. Caldo shuffles his way towards the stairs and begins making his way up, and the wooden staircase creaks heavily as full orcs are a little bit on the heavier side. For a few more details, he is completely bald. He has a well-kept full beard, several scars that are visible peeking from beneath a slightly oil-stained tunic, a wonderfully kept brown apron wrapped around his waist, and the jingle and jangle of coin comes from him, as he usually likes to keep any tips or anything like that in small pouches that he has on his belt. A set of keys also jingles with him as he goes up the stairs, and there's the heavy creak as he hits the top stair and disappears into the second floor. Fel, if you would like to, please go ahead and roll me the first roll of the campaign with a performance check.
Tuo would like put the ball on the stage in front of Fel and then go sit on the front row and just like grab a little pouch with a snack and just look like stare at her like with excitement.
Remind me how to roll in Foundry.
Sure, it's my first time doing it too, so if we want to, we go over to your character sheet, come over to your attributes tab, and then go ahead and tap on the performance, and I believe a little dialogue box might pop up. And go ahead and, hold on, let me... For that, you just want to hit normal. Natural 20, straight out of the gate, into the campaign. We can all go home. We've
Awesome.
completed our mission. Thank you all so much for joining us. No, I'm kidding. Natural 20 with a 26. What is the song that Fel chooses to play?
As her opening number, introducing herself as one Fel from Curdy's, well, she says, and immediately forgot what she just typed, Curdy's Captivated Circus Troupe. She'll play her little theme song, that's like a jingle for Fel that she wrote just herself on her fiddle that I am not going to curse you with, but here's a prop. And as she is playing, she'll just kind of give a bit of a kick of her skirts, and you can see as she plays, some swords and blades fall out, just a hint of maybe the second act of her show. But she's definitely raring to go and get other people joining in, singing. It's quite a simple song with some fun little chants to, get this, people just having their full food. No, you got to join in. And
Fantastic.
Can't help it.
A bit of a rhythmic thrum in key with the song picks up from the crowd as they stomp their boots, and a couple of them do a couple of claps along, keeping with the beat themselves. And with a natural 20, I mean, would Fel have like a little tip jar open, or is her case open for tips?
Sure. She's not even thought about it, but her case is on the side because, hey, she's a performer, so she's not fricking me.
And you are a bit of a regular here, so individuals have kind of made a game out of giving you tips, where, because Caldo likes to set up like a proper-ish setup for the seats, they like to toss the coins over the other patrons' heads and see if they can make it into the case. And you watch as a flurry of coins eventually, as the song goes on, does make its way into the case. And for your own personal notes, over the course of this song, you've managed to make yourself a solid 2 gold in a mixture of copper and silver.
Oh, yeah.
They're just lobbing coins over the giant turtle at the front.
Yeah, one dings off your shell and sort of hits next to the case and does that little wing as it hits the ground.
He's just clapping along like with childlike wonder.
There is point in the song as well, she'd probably turn her violin to like the first row, including our lovely little turtle here, to hold one string as you'll be plucking it and she'll be stringing it the wrong way, just to flex.
Fantastic. Meanwhile, as everyone is watching, I'd like to ask, now we know Tuo is in the crowd of patrons watching along the performance. What would David be up to while this performance is going on?
Well, he would try to mingle around with the people and basically talk to anyone who looks like they are of come of decent money.
Okay, interesting. Are you looking to get any information, or just simply having relatively pleasant conversation?
More of the pleasant conversation.
Fantastic. Make me a charisma check.
Connections. Like a pure charisma,
Pure
or
charisma,
like
yeah. No persuasion, no deception here, just pure charisma. $19, almost another. Almost. It was a natural 17,
Very
so
close.
very close to another natural 20. Almost. So yeah, you talk to a couple of individuals, and they seem to take your company quite pleasantly. As you get a decent bit of conversation going, you're lucky enough to have the gossipers of Marienburg sort of gathered around you in the closest grouping of patrons, the sailors of the various different merchant ships that make their way in and out of port. So they have all sorts of things to talk about, from sea adventures to the latest gossip about nobles to what's really going on in town. And as this conversation continues, and I'm sure David would flash a smile here and there, laugh at a joke here and there, even if it's not entirely funny, what would we see Nasa up to?
Nisa's kind of bobbing her head to the music and she's liking it and stuff. She has a quarterstaff with her, and at the top of this quarterstaff there's like a wind chime type of thing, but it's very clear it's not making any noise as it's being, pounded against like the floor to kind of go along with everything else. The staff does, but like the chimes don't. So she's just kind of drinking her meat, just enjoying the things.
Fantastic. All right. Camera continues around the room and takes a look over Jasmine's shoulder. Yours is the only table that was left undisturbed, as Caldo knows that your studies and your entertainments and books is more important than any entertainer.
Indeed. But tonight she's actually catching the music a bit because it was so good and so catchy song. And she's sitting in those robes, and the robe starts to move a little as from like a large inner pocket climbs a black cat out on the table and also seems to look at the music that's been playing. And she pets the cat a little. Yeah, isn't she good? I wonder where she learned that. And she opens up her robes and reveals her pale skin with freckles. She has kind of long red hair in two braids with blue ribbons, and she have like a bodice, also like purple and white under there. And she gets a little more comfortable and not as closed up as she was, as the music seems to be in a light mood. But she keeps writing at all this time. So yeah.
Fantastic. Cinnamon. There is the smell of cinnamon in the air. There is the smell of spices in the air. And there's a wonderful bit of music in the air. What is he up to?
Well, small detail that I forgot in his description, but he's not as tiny as you might think, because fairies are often very tiny, but he's like 15 inches something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at this entire display of music, he's just gonna grab his pouches. He's got pouches which he throws over his shoulder like a messenger bag. Take a tankard of his drink, and he'll fly up to the chandelier in the middle of the room, and he'll go sit on that to cheer along with.
Fantastic. All right. So, as the music continues, eventually, unfortunately, the music does come to an end. As Fel, you have done a wonderful performance, made a little cash, and you seem to have livened the spirits of the individuals within this lovely establishment. And you even hear the sound of Caldo's meaty hands clapping together from upstairs. And a little bit of a gruff voice comes from down the stairs. That was wonderful, Fel! Wonderful! Now, where did I leave that? That's what you hear from upstairs. Your song comes to an end. People cheer. A couple of the naysayers and a couple of people who were confused about exactly who you were goes, so this is why you guys like Fel. No, I get it now, yeah. And with that, they go ahead and begin breaking off into their little groups, excitedly talking about the musical piece, some of them even still singing it and mumbling it underneath their breaths as they return to their tables. Go ahead and Fel, David, and Cinnamon, make me a perception check. Ladies and gentlemen, the first natural one of the campaign has entered the arena.
Oh no!
Oh, we
So-
have both opposites.
Fel and Cinnamon, you don't know when in the performance this individual entered. You didn't even really see the door to the establishment open. But standing not too far away from the door is a halfling individual in a pristine lab coat with a thick set of bottle glasses placed upon their head, currently not looking over, currently not in front of their eyes. A bit of a small scar that sort of interrupts the freckles on their cheeks. A tuft of horribly kept gray beard and relatively bald, except for a small itty bitty patch of hair in the very center of the head. And these large emerald green eyes. Not sure when this individual entered, but he stands there and he sort of claps as Fel finishes putting up her musical instruments, and he begins to make his way towards the stairs where you saw Caldo go. You guys fully return to your tables, and some of the tables begin to move back into place.
Is
Jack.
Fel eating the meal?
Oh, that is a good question. Now that Fel has finished putting up her instruments and has dusted herself off a little bit, you can see that there is a meal before you, and there is the pungent smell of spice wafting out of it.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to tucking into this. Thank you. And she'll just like pretty much just still sit on like the edge of the little performance space, just tucking into it quite gladly, speaking to whoever's still kind of near.
Fantastic. As you begin to eat into it, just for my own sanity, knowing how hot this dish is, could you make me a Constitution saving throw with advantage because of your tiefling heritage?
Oh yes.
Where's Constitution, bro?
So if you go back to the attributes page on your character sheet, it'll ask you if you want to do an ability check or a saving
Oh, I see,
throw.
I see.
Yeah.
I didn't say which one is it.
With advantage, saving throw.
Saving throw with advantage.
Okay, 13.
-2.
-2, yeah. All right, fantastic. It's a good dish. A little spicier than you're used to. There's a new pepper in here than you're used to. And it catches you a little off guard, and you get that sensation of like your lips, you get this burning sensation, and it's like not even your full tongue, just like the edges of your tongue get a little bit of a burning sensation. All you can taste is spice, unfortunately, but it's still decent.
Her eyes light up, and even though it's quite clear that it's taken her by surprise, she just looks absolutely marveled by it and just got almost like doing a little tap with her foot as the surprise takes her by surprise, and it's just like, oh, I need to write this down, and she'll just almost
It's good,
write a little
right?
ditty. You have to show me what spices you use.
Okay.
Just
I love
as,
to take this out on the road.
Just as you guys finish exchanging that little interaction, you watch as the halfling individual begins making their way down the stairs, And they get about halfway down when you hear a loud thud from upstairs, like something falling.
Does the halfling stand out for a particular reason? Does he seem like up to no good or something?
He is the only individual here in like pristine scientific robes. Is the only way I can really put it. And he is the oddest ball at the party, despite all the oddballs.
With the falling, Tuo would immediately be like on guard, like jump up.
But you're not the only one. There are a couple of individuals throughout the crowd who sort of stop their eating, stop their drinking, and all begin to look up towards the second story. It was a loud fall. The halfling individual on the stairs sort of stops midway and turns around, and you see he quickly starts running up the stairs.
Can I go run to the stairs as well?
Absolutely. What's your movement speed?
Normal 30.
Okay, normal 30. So you go ahead and you get to the bottom of the stairs just as this halfling individual disappears around the corner of the top of the second story staircase, and you can hear the creaking of a door as it rushes open. You begin making your way up, and as you get about halfway up the stairs, you would hear, "Caldo! Caldo! Wake up! Wake up!" And there's the sound of a light slap. What would the rest of you like to do as Tuo is making his way up the stairs? I'm assuming at this point at a hasted speed, trying to go full on running up there.
Is the shouting of Caldo's name hearable downstairs?
Yes, it is hearable, because most of the patrons in the bar stop their eating, stop their drinking the moment they heard the fall, and the tavern itself has kind of just gone silent.
In that case, Cinnamon also buzzes off the chandelier and on his way to the stairs.
The black cat looks at Yasmin. Yasmin looks at the cat, and then the cat starts running upstairs.
Okay.
I just assume David is still talking to someone, not really noticing what's going on with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Recently, his mother actually bought the place. That's sort of the conversation that you're having right now. Sorry, Nasa.
So is it visible that these other people are going towards?
Yeah, they are in plain view, rushing towards the stairs at this point.
So, Nasa will kind of like be drawn away from her enjoyment and be like, "The fuck?" And she'll just kind of just go and look because she's curious.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she'll go and look.
All right, Tuo, you were the first to arrive at the door.
Yeah.
What you would see?
Go
ahead.
He would start yelling, "What's going on?" And like, "What did you do to him?"
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right. So you would see as you come to the mouth of the doorway and look inside. This is Caldo's office. To give you a bit of an idea, he has this beautiful imported rug that he's really been proud of over the last 4 years. It's a bit of purple with a sort of a gold inlay that has a large, beautiful mahogany desk on top of it. And he has a few bookshelves that are not really filled. There's like 4 books out of these 2 large bookshelves that he has. He has a large chest in the back of the room, which is currently looks like it's been forced open, as the lock has clearly been busted and is hanging off of one side of the chest. There is the window is quite clearly open. And all of the candles that are normally lighting the room would be snuffed. But you see this halfling individual sort of standing over Caldo's unconscious form. And you would see that Caldo has clearly had several bruises across his body, as well as a dagger in his collarbone.
Right. He does not pay attention to the open window, and he will just run up, pick the halfling by the scruff up. What did you do to him?
As you pick him up. Oh, it wasn't me! Wait! You don't understand. Oh
What?
God!
Are we there yet?
It's about at that time that those of you who made your way upstairs have now made it to the doorway. And you would see this sight. The room as I described it, Caldo still on the floor, not appearing to be breathing at the moment, knife in his left collarbone, and this small halfling being lifted up high into the air. How tall is Tuo, by the way?
Tuo is 6 foot.
So we see this like 2'11" individual within the hands of Tuo's massive form, lifted clear off the ground. I'm assuming to eye level, sort of kicking and trying to get free. You gotta understand, it wasn't me. I just finished my conversation with him. I was leaving.
He was my friend. What did you do to him?
I didn't do anything.
Cinnamon is casting Healing Word on Caldo the moment that he sees he's laying on the ground.
Okay.
And-
Cast Healing Word.
And Nasa's gonna try to kind of separate the angry turtle from strangling this person.
I would like an athletics versus athletics check as you attempt to separate the two.
I rolled an intelligence check for when he came into the room, and he
Yeah, I
rolled
saw that,
only
the
a
six.
6.
Yeah.
So
6 points of healing to
athletics.
Caldo.
Right.
Okay. So Cinnamon, as you make your way wow, only a 9. 14.
I'm sorry, that was not visible to everybody. I'm so sorry. Hold
Private
on.
rolls though.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
That's fine. 2-0, as you're holding on to this individual, you are so focused on holding on to them and trying to get information out of them, you don't notice this figure sort of pop into the corner of your eyes, quickly grab onto the halfling and tear them out of your arms. You can see a bit of the laboratory coat tears in your hands as apparently the fabric was giving away, and you're just left with these 2 tufts of pristine white cloth in your hand.
He's just like breathing very heavily.
It's okay. What is going on? Like, what happened here?
Cinnamon.
Caldo,
He
you're
was
okay.
slapping him and Caldo is dead.
Cinnamon. It appears that Healing Word has had no effect on this individual.
Oh, no. I fly over and try to check on his wounds and try to do whatever I can.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a medicine check, Cinnamon, as you make this realization and you fly over. I apologize, Nasa 2-0. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So would just repeat like, he was slapping him and now he's dead.
I didn't kill him. I swear. And he
So-
tries his best to look at you, Nasa. How are you holding him, I should ask?
Wait, are you asking me how I'm holding?
Yeah, because I'm assuming you took him out of his out of the arms of 2-0. I don't know if you're like have a full view of his back and you're holding him that way and you're holding him up, or if you
Well, like, okay, so he's not someone I'm personable with, so I'm kind of just holding him out and looking at the turtle kind of thing. And then when I hear that like he's been smacking him and now he's dead, and I look at Cinnamon and he's like, oh shit, I'm like, I turn the guy around a little bit. I'm like, okay, so if you didn't kill him, what happened?
I simply came up here to have a conversation, and we had our conversation, and when I left, I was headed down the stairs, and I heard the thud just like all of you.
But you were smacking him.
To see if he would
So-
wake up. That's the only reason I smacked him. That's the only reason I smacked him, I swear!
Okay. I'm not letting go of this individual, by the way.
Okay.
Like, there is no way that this person is coming down out of my hands. But I look over at Cinnamon and I'm like, do we know how he died?
Cinnamon.
I mean, is he dead?
With a 22, none of the visible wounds are what has killed Caldo. All of those wounds were made post-mortem. And from the best of your knowledge, just looking, seeing what you can gather, Caldo has died of a heart attack.
Cinnamon just slumps on the chest of Caldo and sort of sits down and he's he dead.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but it's not the wounds, it's not the dagger, it's not. He died of an heart attack.
A heart attacked him?
So, as soon as this is
he's gone.
said, Nasa's arms kind of like slump down. Like she's clearly not holding this guy as intently as she was before. And then she realizes that she's even holding him and she just puts him down.
Finally, some civility. I told you, I was not the one who killed him. I swear I wasn't. It wasn't me. Look, the window! The window is open! It's at this time, sort of that detail rushes over all of you. The window is, in fact, quite clearly open, and you can see the light rain outside. You also hear the shuffling of seats from downstairs and the sounds of individuals making their way up to the second floor on the staircase. David, you would notice this as well, as a number of the individuals, even the individual that you were talking to, seem to stop their conversations as they can just barely overhear some of the conversation that's going on upstairs and begin making their way towards the stairs.
I wonder, did the cat make its way up?
The cat would be... yeah, I would say the cat got in the room, yeah.
All right, because it's pretty fast and it tried to get in. And I would want to do an investigation because I will check through its senses what happened there.
All right.
When it came in, it's probably been acting in the background while all the shouting has been going on.
Absolutely. So go ahead and make that investigation check.
If there's any smells involved, I will get the advantage.
There is,
but otherwise
so advantage.
All right. And it's going to be my investigation because it's my senses, but I'm using its nose.
All right.
And I rolled like that.
22. So, while this conversation is going on, we watch as this black cat is carefully making its way around the room, completely unnoticed by the arguing adults in the room. And it would find this odd fragrance that is coming from underneath the desk, making its way over, quickly begins to look into the dark, and you would see that there is a crushed bottle that has a few specks of blood on some of the broken glass underneath the desk. And it gives off this noxious, sort of almost ammonia-like smell.
The moment that cat enters, also, you see Cinnamon go pale and freeze up and be like, nice kitty. Good kitty.
The kitten seems to ignore you for now, at least. But when it gets under there and sees that, it moves out so it's invisible while the people are arguing. And then it's like, meow. And then it pokes like it's nudging under the desk, basically. And trying to make itself heard when people are arguing.
Sure, everybody go ahead and make me a perception check who is currently in the room.
I'm keeping eyes on the cat because...
Can I also roll an insight to see if Tuo would believe the halfling claiming he did not kill him?
I would say give me an insight check with disadvantage as emotions are in the way
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
Hi, long legs. Long legs, I think the cat is... What is the cat doing?
I
Nisa, you
don't
would
know
notice
this
the cat.
shit.
Isuo, you don't, and also you totally don't believe that he didn't kill him.
A heart cannot do it.
I'm suddenly like, oh, what a lovely black cat. She's very pretty. It is very pretty. And she's gonna like try to squat down and like reach her hand out, but not necessarily touch the cat yet, just kind of like introduce herself to the cat, but you don't want to touch a cat until like the cat's like cool with you, so that's what she's gonna do.
Yeah, I would say that the cat acts like kind of cat-like, so it goes to sniff you, but then it's instead of like giving you the permission the cat can do, it instead moves over toward the edge of the desk, and then it scratches the desk, and then it looks back to you.
This is gonna be so silly.
What's it doing?
Do I know what that means?
You can make me an insight check on the cat.
Okay, or animal handling?
Insight.
Oh, all right, that's fine.
I know.
Try not to make any sudden movements,
Meanwhile,
because it can
background,
attack.
A 6.
6. I don't know. Maybe the cat really likes wood. I mean, it is mahogany.
Yeah, it's a
Let's try that
lovely
one.
desk. I look over it. I don't think it's interested in you. Like it's over there by a desk, scratching the desk. So I think you're safe. Like,
Cinnamon.
to be
Wait,
real.
this cat is not trying to attack, it's trying to tell us something.
The cat
of
dies
course.
in a very uncat-like. It has to, and then it moves around the desk, and then it points with the whole arm in a very uncat-like manner.
Like, look here. Like I'm imagining.
Oi, Longlegs, would you mind? As in, I don't really trust turning my back to that creature. As in, don't have the greatest experience with cats.
What are
yeah.
you calling long legs?
I'm thinking it's me. I'm not sure. Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh. It's Nasa. My name's Nasa,
Nasa.
by the way.
Nasa.
Like you can.
Hi,
Yeah.
it's Cinnamon. I
Hello.
tend to be a
Hello.
regular here.
Yeah. I think I've seen you a couple of times. I don't know. So she's gonna go and look at the desk.
Okay.
Kind of examine it a little bit before pulling anything out, seeing if there's like anything
With the
unusual
cat
about it.
pointing, I'd like you to make me an investigation check with advantage.
Meanwhile, Cinnamon carefully walks up to the face of Calder and is like trying to close his eyes.
15. You would obviously see some sort of crushed glass underneath the desk, sort of scooted into one corner that the cat is clearly pointing to. Other details that you would pick up immediately as you would see this is it looks like he uses his left drawers more than his right drawers, as there are several scratches in the copper locks that he has on each of the desk drawers. But your eyes are more drawn to this shattered glass underneath.
Huh. So I'm gonna look to see if there's maybe a lamp or something like that would have been damaged or something like the source of the glass is what I'm looking for, right?
Oh,
So-
okay. Give me a perception check.
The cat has started to clean itself, acting
11.
more cat-like.
You would see there are a couple of candle holders that are here on the desk. There's 3 in total on the desk. None of them have any glass implementation in them. You have what looks like similar wall-mounted, 2 similar wall-mounted candles that are on either side of the door. And the only glass candle anything that would be in the room is on one of the bookshelves, and it looks like it hasn't been used in quite a long time, as it's covered with a thin layer of dust. Excuse me.
Okay.
And doesn't look like it looks like it has a fresh candle within.
So there's some glass on the floor here, but I don't think it's from anything in here. She's gonna check the drawers then.
Okay. Which drawer do you start on? It's 3 drawers on the left and right. The
You said
higher
the
ones
right
are
side?
smaller than the lower ones. The lower ones are the big ones.
You said the right side was used more, right?
The left side is used more.
Oh, the left side. She'd start with the left side.
Okay. You go ahead and you start top, middle, or bottom.
Top down.
Okay. You go ahead and pull the top drawer. It comes out. Within, you would see what looks like a leather-bound book that just has a large embroidered K on it, and it looks like the embroidery is bronze. And it's got one of those little latch flaps for the leather-bound book.
I'm gonna take the leather-bound book out and I'm gonna hand it to Cinnamon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cinnamon,
Yeah,
it's
you know,
it's twice your
it's-
size, but you're able to hold it.
Yeah.
like
Um,
we're gonna go ahead and look through that. Like that's something I found. Go ahead.
Right. I'm sorry, Calder. I'm gonna put the book on Calder's chest.
Wait a second.
Okay.
Are you standing on the dead body and you're looking at his own book? Okay.
I just tried to close his eyes, like it's Caldo. He's a royal bugger. As in, this is not fair. What?
So you go ahead and you undo the latch on the book, and you open it up. And is Cinnamon one of those people who goes page by page, or is he like a person who jumps to the middle of the book to try and see what's there?
I'll open it page by page, just way easier.
Okay, you would immediately see carefully written out in it's common, but it's in like Orcish font. This is the personal journal of Caldo, written out on the first page. Flipping the page, you would quickly realize that it is not written in common from that point on. What languages does Cinnamon speak?
Elven, Sylvan, and Common, I believe.
Okay. Unfortunately, you are not able to read this book. However, you can tell that it has its base roots in Orcish.
Nisa, was it?
Yeah, it's Nasa. Yeah. What's
Nisa,
up?
I'm sorry, but I don't read Orcish, and it's Calder's journal. It's-
I look at Tuo and do you know Orcish?
Out of character for a moment. I just noticed I have Draconic as one of my languages, which I don't think makes sense for him.
Roll me a persuasion check. I know what you're going for.
No, it doesn't have to be Orcish. I just noticed when I was looking, and I just was like, not sure where he would have picked that up, especially with the whole background.
Okay. Yeah, 10. Yeah, I'll allow you to switch it out. That's fine. Plus, yeah, reading over your background wouldn't make a ton of sense. So.
Yeah. So, change it to Orcish? Or something else?
That's another persuasion check. DC 15.
I mean, if I'm changing it right now, I mean, his other one is Giant, so...
13. Ooh. Unfortunate.
Nah.
Unfortunately,
Which
not
one
in
would
this.
make sense?
Not in this. Yeah.
Calder,
I'll
what
look
did
at
you
it
get
after the
yourself
game.
involved with? Was it a heart attack, or is it some foul play here? As in, the timing seems awfully off.
You got a 22 for your medicine check, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Spending a bit more time with the body as you begin flipping through the pages and realize that you aren't able to read the first few pages. You take another look at Caldo, and you would see that there is the tiniest cut that is on his lip, his lower lip.
You see Cinnamon walking over the body, basically, going from toes to face in order to check on any any clues of foul play, and then he sort of looks over the lips and the tusks probably sticking out. He cut
You know
himself.
that's really disrespectful.
I'm trying to find out what happened to him, okay? Look, this
Yes,
cut
yes,
is...
continue. Prove my innocence.
What is
Cat rolls
what
his
is
eyes.
what is this fellow's name? This guy right here. Who is this? And I point to the person that I was holding before the.
Oh, me. I am Dr. Arnunian Soon.
Dr. Arnunian Soon.
Yes.
Right.
What is he
This cut is not
doing?
post-mortem, is it?
He's standing there waiting for you guys to prove his innocence.
Because, like, I have my eyes locked on him.
Oh, absolutely. So, sorry, Cinnamon, you're gonna peel the lips open slightly?
Yeah.
Okay, as you do, you would see that there's this faint purplish dye trail on the center of his tongue. And it gives off a light smell of ammonia.
Oof. Oh, Calder, what did you do? Why would you drink something that smells so goddamn awful?
The cat points once more to the desk, under the desk.
And so you would see the cat is pointing once again to the shattered glass.
To the glass.
And
Okay.
it does a licking emotion like in front of its hand, but not on the hand, the paw. And then it faintly looks like it dies. And then it sits up, and then it starts cleaning itself again.
God.
The cat's acting
Cinnamon
very weird.
walks over, keeping an eye on the cat and sort of looking at the pieces of glass if he finds them.
You would, make your way around the desk,
Yeah.
and you would see that there's that shattered glass underneath. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe the glass is poisonous. She's looking at the cat and kind of questioning the cat, but then looking back at Cinnamon and nodding like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Well, it smells the same, so he might have drank it, but why would he drink poison?
And you would see, Cinnamon, that there are small splotches of blood on one, on what would be a part of the lip of the bottle that is shattered.
Calder, why would you drink that?
Forgotten, did you see that I typed that Yasmin moved outside?
Yes. Packing her books and moves outside to stand under the window outside. Okay. Make me a perception check.
Perception, right.
So over the light rain, you would be able to hear a little bit of the conversation that's going on out the window. But looking around, you are joined on all sides, even though it is later in the evening, by the hustle and bustle of a city that never sleeps and a city that never stops moving. Carts sort of go by in the rain, and some of them even call out to you to get out of the way a little bit. Individuals push past you on occasion as the city is bursting with overpopulation. And there is, of course, the small, faint stench of uncleaned alleyways that sort of wafts and hangs low in the streets here.
Is the window close enough so you could jump over to another rooftop or something like
The
that?
way the window is, his office is towards the front of the establishment. There isn't necessarily a balcony for his office window, but there is a bit of a pole for banisters that you would normally hang, so you could lean out the window, hang up a banister, release it, and it would cover a portion of the front of the establishment. And that's usually done during celebrations and things like that. and the lip of the roof is close enough to it so that if someone was on the roof, they could grab onto that and quickly make their way into the window, should they be athletic or very skilled in acrobatics.
But it's harder to get out.
Much harder to get out.
I still think this guy did it.
I did not. I can tell you now. We had a wonderful conversation.
Don't believe you.
I'm gonna
dear.
as they're having this. I'm so sorry, guys. As they're having this conversation, I just wanted to say that she's searching through the other drawers, like
Sure. Investigation check.
getting. Okay.
Meanwhile,
David,
yeah, I was just about to come to you.
David will start to move up and start to like push himself through the crowd, like a person who believes that he's the most important one in the room, just pushes through it.
And the crowd itself they haven't really gone fully upstairs. Instead, what they've done is they've sort of gathered on the stairwell itself, and about 6 of them are doing that lean around the corner style, looking around the corner of the top of the stairs, looking towards the room. And you would go ahead. You'd be able to push your way through. You'd have to push a person here over, push a person there over, but people would sort of get the hint as you make your way up. And eventually you would get to the top of the stairs to hear the conversation that's currently going on in the room.
And he will step through the door and... What is going on there?
Oh, no, we have a new one. I didn't do it. And you see this...
This guy
small-
did it.
No, I swear I didn't.
So
I don't know what
Where
happened
is
to Caldo's
bartender?
dead.
My drink is out.
this is like the really good-looking guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nasa's kind of like, hi.
Hello. What are you doing up here?
She like totally shakes out of whatever like stumbling words that she was
Really?
in.
Caldo's
Yeah,
dead
so
and you're thinking about flirting?
I mean, I wasn't. Excuse me, I wasn't flirting. I just said hi.
I was talking to
okay?
the guy. He comes in here, you say hi, and I see the way you respond.
I'm
Sorry,
I'm
who's dead?
Caldo.
this
Looking.
guy.
You look and you
Oh.
can see Caldo is clearly very dead on the floor.
Isn't-
I guess they thought that this Dr. Anuinian's son, or soon, thought that they killed him, but he just died of a heart attack. But there's also like these pieces of glass that kind of smell similar to what's on his breath. So we're thinking maybe
It smells like piss, basically. Ammonia, I think it's called.
But what if the science guy made the heart attack him?
But why would Caldo drink
But
it?
I
Isn't it?
do that.
I don't know. You were slapping him and now he's dead and you were
See if
lying.
he would
I don't
wake
believe
up.
you.
Fel, what are you up to?
I was gonna go upstairs, but I totally
Come on
continued.
up.
I don't know.
Come on up. Come
I
on
don't
up.
know. Just double checking because I got a bit confused. The halfling upstairs at the moment isn't the halfling with the emerald eyes, is he? Or is it the
He
same guy?
is. He is the same
Oh, he
individual.
is the same guy.
He went upstairs, seemed to follow Caldo, as it were. You don't know if they had a conversation or anything, but as he was coming down the stairs, he got about halfway down when there was a loud thud from upstairs that everyone has responded to so far.
Cool. So she would probably just like joking around patrons, be like, "Oh, probably need to like hose him down with some cold water." You know how he drinks the dog. And then when she's kind of like listening a bit more, probably helping up the bar, cleaning up whatever, hearing the word death and heart attack and shit, she's like, "Oh god, okay," and would just very quickly stop fixing up drinks to kind of see what's going on. Even though part of her's like, yeah, let's not be the tiefling who this guy died while I was performing. They'll find a way to blame it on me, but fuck it, let's go up there.
Fantastic. Jasmine, still outside. Where is your investigation taking you next?
Assassino good way for a person to leave, I would share the sense with my cat again and see, is there like water, like someone has been stepping from outside on the like inside there? Is there like water footsteps, or is it dry?
Investigation check.
What did mine show? Aaron?
Oh, I
The
apologize.
15.
With a 15, you were continuing looking through the drawers. So, assuming that you're still going in order, the second drawer on the left it is locked, actually. So, would you immediately just move to the third drawer, or would you do anything with that?
I'll go to the next one because I don't know how to break into a locker.
The third one is unlocked, and as you slide it open, what you would see is there is a neatly packed away into this drawer. There's a change of clothes. Looks like a fine set of clothes for an individual of his size. On top of that, there looks to be small pouches, smaller than even coin purse pouches, and there's about 4 of them that are sort of stacked away carefully in the top left of the drawer. There looks to be a decently made silver watch that is carefully laid out at the top right of the drawer. And there is what looks like a well-kept and well-maintained black leather belt that's sort of curled up onto itself, and all of that sits on top of this fine set of clothing at the bottom of that drawer.
Those 4 coin pouches, they're full? Or
They look like they are full with something. It doesn't look like they are full with coin, though.
can I look in the pouches and see what's in them?
Okay, you go ahead and grab one and undo the bit of string that ties them together, and as you open it up, you would see that the... Okay, I'm gonna... roll me a d4.
A D4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on.
Two. So what you would find is you would find this smooth stone that has been intricately painted with a little design of a green book that sits on one flat piece of the stone. And there seems to be, if you turn the stone over, there's a small runic carving in it.
Okay. I'm gonna run my hand under the second drawer that's locked to see if there's anything to get to the drawer that's locked.
For this, give me a perception check. Meanwhile, outside, Jasmine, looking around, you, through this cat's senses, would see that there is just a tiny bit of what looks like the front of someone's shoe and the back of someone's shoe. Probably size men 11, American 11. I don't know European foot sizes. I apologize.
It's fine.
And it looks like it wasn't... It's not any discernible, style of boot or style of shoe that you're used to seeing. So it's probably a smoother shoe, might be a type of leather, maybe even a moccasin.
All right.
That left this print, and that's only the one print.
This looks like it had water on it, so it probably came from outside.
It's a little bit. It's soaked a little bit of the rug, and that's where the print is.
I will then cast an illusion from outside.
Okay.
A minor illusion. It's a cantrip, so it's going to be a still image of a paper with some text on it in front of the window, in full view of the people inside.
Everyone
and
inside.
It'll have text on it.
Everyone inside, perception check, except for Nasa. Your back is currently turned to the window. I apologize. And speaking of you, Nasa, with a 12, you would feel what feels like a metal wire with tension underneath the drawer. Sort of in that in-between space where you have the bottom layer piece of wood that holds the front of a drawer, and then you have the bottom layer piece of wood that holds the back of a drawer. It's sort of sitting, instead of on that part, it's sitting directly in the center bottom of the drawer itself, the second drawer itself, and it feels like a spooled, tension-filled metal wire. And you don't know what it goes to because, unfortunately, you're just using your hand.
Shit. Okay.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
And it's as she says that.
Do you need me to smash the desk?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Duo, David, and Cinnamon would all notice this illusion appear behind Nace's head, slightly blocked a little bit by Nace's head out the window.
Oh, that's peculiar.
Okay,
the
peculiar
illusion say?
situation. A paper just appeared outside. There's a very weird predator that seems not interested in hunting me. And apparently there's a spool of iron thread in the desk and you want to smash it?
I mean, it's not.
She's struggling. I have a big hammer.
I am struggling. I need to get into this. You know, I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. It's fine.
Let
What
me
does the
take a look
paper
at
say? It's
it.
behind you.
I had a desk like this. It gets jammed sometimes.
What were you saying? There's something outside
There's
the
a
window?
paper behind you.
Nasa, as you turn around, you would see this illusion outside the window.
Is there anything written on the paper?
Yes, it is. It says, the killer probably come from outside. Moccasin boot size 11. It's probably still there.
Okay, all right, hold on. I have to.
Halfling, how are you doing this? Because I know you did this.
What?
Is
No! Go ahead.
is there any
Trying
way
to distract us?
Is there any way to know where this paper came from?
You can make me... you're more than welcome, anyone who wants to try and figure it out. Make me an Arcana check, but DC 18. It's kind of hard to know, especially if you don't have line of sight on the individual.
No.
18! Which becomes a 20 with your bonus. Nasa, definitely not from inside the room. An individual outside of the room would have to be casting this. Cinnamon, you got no clue. Fell, 16. It doesn't look like anyone's casting, but if someone's really good, they could have hidden it, cast it, and could just be maintaining it with, and they don't have to show their hands or anything at this point. And then 2-0, you rolled a 6.
Yes. I think it's the halfling.
Do you think it's the halfling? Look, I swear to you, I haven't cast anything. I didn't kill anybody. Just... And he sort of looks towards Cinnamon and Nasa. You two are doing the best work. Keep figuring stuff out.
Would that roll also be able to tie with the cat and be able to know about?
That's a bit of... If you had gotten maybe a natural 20, I might give you some additional about that, but yeah.
All right. So this is Nasa's response. Somebody's watching us, guys.
Yeah, the halfling.
No, somebody not in this room. That was casted not in this room.
The cat meows and points to the ground where the footprint is.
cat.
The cat is a wizard.
The
So-
cat murdered him?
So at
No,
this point,
no, the cat is a wizard.
At this point, Nace is gonna go and pick up the cat and just kind of hold it and like look it in its face and be like, "Where's your owner, cat?"
Are you picking it up gently, or is he like pulling it up?
Oh no, she's gentle, but she's like she's being serious. Like, don't fuck around. Like, where's your owner?
I guess the cat starts to purr.
The cat's a wizard. Galdo's dead and the cat's a wizard. I don't understand what's going on here.
And then the cat points to the window. And then it like snuggles up with you a bit as you're holding it more gently.
I'll fly to the open window and land on the windowsill.
Okay. As you land on the windowsill, make me a perception check. Will Jasmine make any motion as she sees a statuesque miniature figure make its way into the window?
Yeah, how far away is the window?
The window from you, from street level, is probably about 10. Yeah, roughly 10 feet up.
Yeah, then when she sees it, she can probably be heard. She's like, "Yeah, I'm down here.
Yeah. So Cinnamon,
I casted a paper."
over the noise of the hustle and bustle outside, you do hear, "I'm down here," and you look down and you see Jasmine.
Is it your cat?
I'm just
Yes.
petting the cat at this point. I'm like cradling it and like petting it, and I'm just like,
Is it friendly?
Yes, of course. The killer might still be inside. Be careful. He might be hiding somewhere.
Okay, so there's a red-headed woman outside that says it might be the killer inside still here because it didn't...
Like I said, it's the halfling!
I don't know about that, to be
Honestly,
honest.
I am getting very tired of being confused for the killer.
And I am tired of not smashing stuff.
Well, I think a brothel can solve that issue for you, good sir.
Huh?
Clearly, he's too stupid to even know what a brothel is. See?
hey,
How can you just...
Pipsqueak?
What?
Pipsqueak.
Huh?
Calm down. Calm down.
I think you might be
chill.
more aggravating to him now, as in, you might want to watch your language. I don't know if he...
I mean, his boss and longtime friend are dead. You know, it came
How
across
would you
you and you
feel
were
if you
smacking her.
hadn't killed this individual and suddenly everyone was blaming you?
Oh, I'm sure I'd probably be upset. It's just a series of unfortunate events for you, though, tonight.
The reason
so
I'm
maybe-
doing this is because he's like holding his laboratory coat the entire time, trying to remain some form of dignified despite the two ripped patches in the lower side of the laboratory coat from where 2-0 was holding on to him earlier.
Hey, you have a lab coat? What were you doing here anyway? Like, why were you even in here?
I was simply here placing an order. That's all I was doing.
I look at 2-0 and I'm like, have you ever seen this guy? Like, ever met him? Seen him? This
2-0,
doctor?
do a history check.
Since I'm also a regular, I'm like... Have I
Just
seen...
posting a little block of
Cinnamon
text.
history check, Fell history check. Jasmine, you're not in the room, so I can't ask you for one.
For those who don't know, by the way, turtles only mate once in their life and die within a year afterwards.
Jesus Christ, that's depressing.
That is
That's
like,
why the turtle age is like average lifespan of 50.
That's
Because
super
if they
depressing.
don't mate, they live a lot longer, but
I mean, that takes
What
a
about
whole
the
new
giant
level to
turtles
one
who
and
live
done.
for like 300 years? What about them? They're just like 300-year-old
different, I guess.
Apparently not this
But that's
race.
from like, I think that's from the second edition official book, and it's based on like actual turtle stuff. I don't know.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, that is
I rolled a 17 somehow with history.
awesome. 2-0, wow. Holy crap. Holy crap. Of all the people
Could've hit
that
it.
I expected to get this roll. So for Fell, you've seen a couple of halflings. Some of them, like, kind of fit his description, but not exactly. So you're unsure. But for 2-0, he's come in like twice. Yeah. Each time he does the same thing. He goes upstairs, he disappears for a while, he comes back down, then Caldo comes down about 2 minutes afterwards.
I mean, he has been here before, but I still think he did it. I mean, him being here before just shows that he would have known where he was to do it.
No. Caldo was my largest supplier of ale. Why would I kill him?
Because you
Yes? Go
wanted
on?
to.
As your logic breaks down?
Tua starts to like scratch
Do
his
I?
head of like his head starts to hurt from the thinking.
I'm curious if Cinnamon actually believes this man. He's heard him talk a few times now, and
And she goes, it was alcohol you were buying?
Yes, I buy large, copious amounts of alcohol from this establishment and then have them delivered to my research facility, actually. Keeps the other researchers entertained, if you get what I mean.
do I believe a word of what this man has been saying
Insight
so
check.
far? I just did
19.
19.
Oh, 19. I mean, you don't really know his business, but from the looks of it, he's not fibbing.
So you're saying that with an awful lot of confidence if it weren't true.
Precisely. See, I knew the small individual would be on my side. We small folk, we gotta stick together, you and I.
I'm
In after
getting
you deliver into
tired.
nap.
And he
Sorry,
takes
there
his
was-
maul and smashes the desk.
Okay.
Too much thinking.
Did
2-0.
I get anywhere on it before he smashed it?
Okay, so, David, what were you trying to get to? That's my apologies.
The lock, the one that had the coiled up
The-
metal
Oh, okay.
thing. I wanted to
Yeah,
the
you wanna-
second
try to get
left.
that open.
Gotcha. Go ahead and make me a roll with thieves' tools if you have that. Otherwise, just make me a dexterity check.
Actually, don't know how I roll with thieves' tools. It's not the roll.
It's basically the relevant stat, and if you're proficient, you also add a proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's what you're gonna have
If
to
you're
do.
proficient,
You might be
at
able
all,
to
it's-
roll
How do I
it from
roll
your
it?
inventory, maybe.
Oh,
Huh?
proficiency.
You roll the normal. Normally, you add a special roll or something. But
Yeah, basically it's like usually a dex check, and if you're proficient in it, you add your proficiency modifier.
Yeah, but there's no button for it or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
just-
do you
yeah,
have
I guess
these
I can
tools
add
kit on you?
proficiency there, I think.
You can roll it from
uh,
your inventory. If you can find your thieves' tools in your inventory, there's a dice next to it. I just
I
did the
added
same for my
my-
brewer supplies just to,
No,
to
that
test it.
wasn't.
Okay.
Well,
So-
my proficiency is 2, so there's 2 more. So 25.
All right, 25. 25 is the DC, actually. As you hear a bit of a light click come from the desk, and it pops open, or it just relieves a little bit of pressure, and assuming that you would open it after that, you would see within a small little chest about this big, and it fills up a majority of that drawer. And a second later, there is a whoosh that goes through the air as a hammer slams down onto the center of the table. Go ahead and roll me damage. Critical damage, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So before the swoosh happens and she heard the click and everything, she's holding this cat and she's petting it, but she looks at David like,
Hey,
oh,
did
how
it actually
helpful.
crit? Because I'm all supposed.
22.
Oh, okay. Your
God.
crit rolls are different than I thought.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have my crit rolls set up different.
Okay.
The desk is immediately cracked in half as it buckles straight through the center. The legs of this desk give out a little bit and land on the bottom drawers, and there's a scattering of wood chips and sawdust that fills that space as the various different items from small papers, quill, ink, a few candles that were snuffed, and what looks like a little picture frame all get shattered by the impact and begin to slide towards the center.
There,
It's not locked anymore.
Your
David takes
tits.
like a big step back, trying to not get the ink on any of his clothes,
And
and just looks over.
I turn away and I shield the cat from any debris that falls from this. And she's like, ah!
And it's been heard from downstairs as I walked inside and it's in the bar.
This can definitely be heard from downstairs. There is another loud thud that comes from upstairs, this time with the sound of cracking wood. The small chest that you saw within the drawer, who's holding it? David, you would have picked it up, or would you?
Yeah, if I had time to take it.
I would say, yeah, you would have had time to grab it in that brief second. It is unlocked. You don't know if it's trapped or not.
I'll take a look at it and say to Nasha, well, it was simply just jammed and now it's smashed, so that's a thing.
She was struggling with the lock. Now it's not locked.
Sure.
You know, what's your name? What?
Duo.
Tuo. Tuo, I'm Nasa. And Tuo, you're absolutely right. I was struggling with the lock. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Do you want like a perception?
Go ahead and make
That's
the
sleight of hand?
investigation to try and find
Investigation.
any traps. With a 10. Doesn't seem trapped.
Alright, I'll open up.
As you go and open it up, I would like you to roll me a... No, I'm kidding. Within, you would see there are 2 coin purses. And in further investigation of those coin purses, the leftmost coin purse would hold about 3 gold's worth of silver. The rightmost coin purse would hold a single platinum.
Can I try to slip one of them
Sleight of
down my
hand.
pocket?
I need to see what everyone's... seeing as Nasa is currently paying attention the most, I would say, go ahead and make me a perception check. Nasa, everybody else, I need to look at your... Could everyone else go ahead and put in chat what your passive perception is?
12.
Okay. So, 2-0, you see this individual quickly slip a coin from the box into one of their various pockets. Nasa,
Can I
you
slap
definitely
their
do.
hands?
They are a little bit further than slapping range, so if you wanted to slap them with a hammer, maybe. But hand-on-hand action, not so much. There's a desk between the two of you.
Not that far. It was more like a tick on the hand, like, hey, don't do that. Like,
Gotcha.
Hey, I'm sorry. I saw who do what again? I'm sorry.
Nasa, you would have seen David slipping one of the coins into their pocket.
David.
Oh. I don't say anything. I'm happily petting the cat that I put on the
As
bed.
you begin to pet the cat jumps out of your hands and makes its way down to the floor and begins tapping towards the, or pointing, I should say, towards the footprint.
Right.
Whoever the lady downstairs is, she thinks that is the footprint of the person that might be responsible unless he took it himself. I don't understand what's going on.
So, I need a recount here real quick. I'm sorry. A lot of things have happened. So you came, and she points at Dr. What's-It. You came to make You came to make an order for alcohol.
Yes, that's what I do.
And you found him on the floor like this?
No. We were talking. We were having a pleasant conversation. I left after making my purchase, and then you all saw I was standing on the stairs when he died.
I mean, I didn't see that. Who saw that?
You guys did see me, right?
I didn't even see him.
He was on the stairs when the thump happened.
Yeah.
I need a drink.
Okay, so...
Well,
So nobody saw him at the top of the stairs?
He was on the stairs when we heard the sound upstairs, which was most likely Caldo collapsing.
Okay.
But
And
what
then-
if he had him up with rope and the rope dropped only when he was on the stairs?
Do you see any rope around here, good sir? And as he asked that question, you would hear the sound of an individual pushing their way through the crowd that's sort of just silently listening in on the stairs. As Casca's voice kind of peeks up and goes, "What in the hell is going on up here?" And she makes her way to the door and goes, "What in the..."
Tuo will just point at his own rope that's hanging on his backpack.
Jesus.
So
I think
don't
we should have
panic.
a lock-in.
Yeah. Don't panic. It appears that he had a heart
happened to
attack.
Caldo? He had a heart
Like,
attack? What?
I mean,
he had a heart
that's-
attack.
The
Well,
halfling did it.
I don't think it was actually a natural heart attack. It's something.
No, he ingested something.
So someone poisoned him.
Maybe,
That's-
or he drank it himself. I don't know. I'm
Soon, what are you
confused.
doing here? Oh, right. This is your schedule. Yeah. Wait. So who
Wait.
did it?
So he's supposed to be here? Points at-
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on his scheduler. And Soon goes, yes, of course I'm supposed to be here. Like I said, I buy alcohol all the time here, in particular ale.
We're here to murder him.
No,
No.
definitely. Where's that ledger you were talking about? And Casca goes, who destroyed his desk?
David points.
We all
Duo,
point at the turtle.
Why? What?
It was locked and they couldn't get it
So
open.
you hit it with a hammer? It's not a door. It's okay,
My
big
brain
guy.
was starting to hurt.
One of you, and he points to, or she points to Nasa and David, and says, "Go into the third drawer on the right."
I'll look.
I'll
At,
go over to the
I'll
hall.
let David do it. Like I mean, if it's locked, I'm not gonna be able to get it. So you go ahead. Go ahead.
No. We'll go and see if it's even
locked.
if it's able to be opened.
Yeah, it is currently locked.
Do you have the key?
The key should be. Oh yeah, in the Adventures of Terry and Darrington, right there. She points to one of the
I'll
four
go for it.
books on the shelves. Those of you who
She
get
will
the
go
inside
fetch
joke,
it
get
and
the
open
inside
it.
joke.
I'm 100% gonna be looking in books now for keys.
Oh Jesus! So yeah, you would go over to the book, and as you open it up, the pages themselves. It's like the first 2 pages are there, and the rest of the pages have been cut out in a perfect square shape, and the paper itself has been pulled out, and a key has been put on the inside. And it's a little brass key. Pull that out, and you can quickly make your way over to the remnants of the desk and put it in and unlock the drawer, and it just easily slides out with a little bit of a as it is now uneven on the rail that it was going on due to the impact. Within, you would see another similar book to the one that is currently on the chest or feet. I'm not entirely sure where Cinnamon was reading the journal.
The chest. It was the chest.
That's laying on his chest.
Okay, so in a similar fashion to the one that is laying on the chest of Caldo with the large bronze K in the center of it, there is a similar looking book, but this time it has a large bronze S in it.
Right, I'll hand it over to the woman that came up.
Yeah, and that. Thank you. She clicks open the little flap, pours through the pages. Always writing in his native tongue. Okay, so Noonien soon. Yeah, he's supposed to be here. And she sort of holds the pages open and flips it towards all of you. Looks over all of you, and does anyone at all read Orcish?
2O does.
Duo does not, no.
Oh, right. Sorry. No. No.
Yeah, okay, great. And judging by the long faces, the rest of you are a no as well. Fel? Did you sing a song in Orcish that one time?
I learned it phonetically.
Oh, that makes sense, because you did say one thing wrong. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, it does have his name here, and it does say that this is around the time. I mean, he's late now, but, you know, he was on time before. Oh, boy.
Who was on the appointment book before him?
It says, she looks through it, Benjamin Schmeller? That name doesn't ring a bell for me.
Is that a real name? Schmeller?
It sounds, you know, imperial, so probably. And you guys would know that German-sounding names are the standard.
Okay. Schmeller sounded fake to me, but apparently not in this one.
Schmeller is a real last name. I have run into 2 individuals in my life with that last name. It was just as hilarious.
Does it say what he was on the appointment books for?
No, it doesn't say, and I don't recognize the name. And it's not like there's no pictures, unfortunately. So, but it says that he was here 2 hours before this.
I have 2 questions. Question 1: what size of boots does the halfling have?
The halfling is like a women's 4.
All right.
American
Good.
women's 4.
I just wanted to confirm. The second is there anyone downstairs that is soaked?
Besides, you know. The rain started right as Fel came in through the door, so.
Right. I would then slowly make my way up, but you can tell when I get up there.
Okay.
Why does it matter who was here before? I mean, he was stabbed.
Sorry to break it to you, big guy, but the stab didn't really do anything.
But then who stabbed him?
Look, let's how about we get the local guards on this, okay?
That might be more interesting, yeah.
As a matter of fact, Jason! And you hear some shuffling from the stairs as one of the individuals comes up. A bit of a scrawny male. Looks like they just got to drinking age, but they clearly have, like, their teeth have been heavily browned over from heavy chewing tobacco usage, and they've heavy stubble that's not been maintained whatsoever, and bald on top of their head, and you know, a little young, but still looking rough. And he goes, "Hey, Jason, could you go get the guards? We kind of need to. Sorry, folks, but I'm not exactly confident in our investigation skills here. I'm not trained in this sort of thing."
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Well, it's fine. I was just trying to, you know.
If we can find anything out before they get here, that's great. It's about the time, at this time, Jasmine, you get to the top of the stairs just as Jason is going down the stairs.
And I don't meet anyone that is also soaked.
Perception check. No one is obviously soaked.
All right.
5, no. Everyone's relatively dry. You see some people with some like armpit stains, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, but if it's been outside raining, my character would presume it would be kind of easy to see, so she wouldn't like go around lifting people's clothes.
Sure, absolutely.
But she will like make it to the doorway then, I guess, and look in. Where is the footprint relative in the room?
Just as you come through the window, there is a patch of the hardwood flooring that makes up for the most of this room, and that patch is maybe goes about 8 inches into the room, and then it hits the purple and golden carpet. And right at the lip of the purple and golden carpet is where that footprint is.
All right. My character doesn't say anything, but they suddenly come to the doorway. But without walking in herself, she will look and see if there's any water on the just inside the door. To see if there's any more footprints closer to the actual exit.
Investigation check.
She wants to be helped by the cat. I should have said that before. No mind.
With a 10, you would faintly notice the back of that footprint again at the lip of the door. And it looks like it's been smudged a few times by people stepping into the room at this point.
Yeah. Who that girl that came in speaking, was that the semi-owner or like his wife?
Casca is she isn't an owner nor is she a semi-owner. She's excuse me. She is Caldo's adopted daughter. He raised her for quite a while. Then she went off to do her own thing, and she recently came back in the city. And he hired her to give her some work while she's trying to find other opportunities. They aren't the closest, but they aren't exactly estranged either.
So she's not upset? She's not upset that her
if she
adopted dad
is visibly not showing it. She's more upset at the inconvenience than anything else, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
You see, like in the door, like she's like, Casca?
Oh, Jasmine, yes.
Cat lady.
Hey. I think whoever did it came from the window, because it's wet footprints here, and it went out in the corridor.
And
it's very hard to see as so many has been walking here now, but maybe it's hiding in one of the rooms. I didn't see anyone wet downstairs. She's standing there very soaked herself.
I'm gonna look for a towel or something to give to her.
13. She looks down and she would see the smudged shoe print. Goes, oh no, you're right. Hey, look for footprints, folks. Look for footprints. There's one here at the door. Any others? You said there was another one in the room somewhere.
By the window, on the other side of it.
Look by the window, see if there's another footprint.
The footprint at the door, is it going out or?
Yeah, it would look like it's heading out.
So she'll go out to the hallway and look out there.
Simon at this point was sitting near the Book of Darrington, and in the bookcase, and he pulls himself up by the cover of Tusk Love as he sort of flies out of the room.
Oh wow.
You know what? I am sure that Caldo would actually have that book, so yes, absolutely, it's in there. Investigation check for Nasa and anyone else who's looking for footprints.
Can I try to assist her with that as I'm flying into the hallway
sure.
as well?
So roll again, Nasa, for advantage. Ooh.
I want to get help of my cat, if that's okay.
So yes, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. David, you notice it first. And then Jasmine, quickly, you notice it right after David. As David, you level a finger towards another footprint that's headed towards the doorway at the very end of the hall at one of the rooms that's available for rent.
Well, it looks like they're going that way. And he will kind of move towards it.
And she like stretches down, and the pen with the feather appears, and she like measures the footprint. Yeah, it's the same footprint.
Very astute.
David, you make your way towards that doorway.
Thank you.
Do you check to see if it's
I
locked
follow
or trapped?
David.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Look
Investigation
at
check.
it.
Uh, 12. Does not seem to be locked or trapped.
Open it up.
You open it up and you see a plain room before you. There's a single bed that sits off in one corner, a small wooden dresser, as well as a small wooden end table, and a little bit of a small but still functional wardrobe that clearly needs some maintenance, as it hasn't been repaired in maybe a good 3 years. But also, in the back of this room, there's another window with another... it's another open window, I should say.
Can I see anyone in the room?
No one is currently visible in the room, and it is currently dark within.
All right, I'll walk over to the window.
All right, you walk over to the window. Perception check.
While we're in the room, I want to say to David, I saw you take the coin. Give me half.
Wow, natural 20 again. Okay, all right. Well. You were the first one to roll our natural 1, and now you've rolled us 2 natural 20s. So, as you look out the back window, you can see that this heads into... it's sort of one of those windows where it's not the best view. It's got, like, part of a main thoroughfare and then part of an alleyway, like, halfway through the window. Looking down into the main thoroughfare, of course, you have the hustle and bustle of people moving by, not giving any care in the world as to what's going on. But in the alleyway, there is a heavily soaked piece of cloth that looks like it's been recently torn off something that's sitting in a bit of a puddle at the bottom of the windowsill. It's of a light blue, almost cayenne coloration.
He will kind of sigh and just say, why did I let myself be involved? And then he will try to move out the window. How much people are there outside?
Outside, there's a good 40, roughly about 40 individuals, 15 animals, and like one guard included in that bunch, just making their way by in the main thoroughfare.
All right, he'll try to make his way down, and hopefully make sure that no one sees him too much.
Make me an
I'll jump
athletics
right
check,
after him out
followed
of the
by a stealth
window.
check.
I have a climbing speed.
Oh, if you have
I
climbing
was
speed,
following
yeah,
a bit,
2-0.
so Tua just jumps out of the window.
Sure. So this is the scene that the rest of you would see, for those of you who follow.
Oh, no.
Assumedly, David simply latches on one foot to the top of the windowsill and then slowly pushes his way out very gracefully, and then just starts walking, defying gravity, down towards the alleyway below. As soon as David's backside disappears, you watch as 2-0 rears back a little bit and then jumps straight through the window. As there is a loud shattering of glass and the sound of wood being ripped off the hinges. Go ahead and make me that athletics check.
I see him go out of the window, and I'm like, no. And
Natural
Oh
Wow.
one.
Wow.
All right. All right.
no! Oh no! It's still a 6 though.
No.
You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as you fly out of the window, hit a balcony of the building behind the inn, slam into an alleyway wooden trash can, and then you hear this loud crack of something as you hit the ground just below the trash can. Meanwhile, David, you're halfway down the wall gracefully, like a scene out of an underworld movie, watching this entire thing play out.
He like stops for like half a moment and kind of glances up, like he's considering to just nope right out of there, but then continues moving down
I'm fine.
and just moves past him towards the cloth.
Everyone else, what are you doing after you hear the some of you would have seen, some of you would have just simply heard the sound of crashing glass, ripping wood, and the sound of something hard hitting what sounded like stone, and then wood, and then pavement. Very
I
hard.
make my way to the window.
Girl, where did you find that one?
Jasmine, you see a what's your max hit points?
35.
Okay, so you see a bruised 2-0 in the alleyway, slowly moving, trying to recover from the fall.
I'd like to think that he landed on his back and he's like struggling to
Yeah,
to like
and you're
roll
not
over.
entirely sure what cracked when you landed either.
Are you alright?
I'm fine.
She turns around and looks the room, and is there a candle or anything in the room that's unlit?
There is
Or
a little candle with a candle holder on the end table that's currently unlit.
And it's like-
Cinnamon takes out a blue piece of quartz and sort of blows on it, casting the light cantrip on it, and hands it off to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jasmine, you snap your fingers, and there's this arcane purplish spark that comes from the tip of your fingers, and immediately there's a whoosh as the candle lights. And as soon as you do that, there's a bright, shining light that comes from this object that Cinnamon is holding as he holds it up towards you.
Oh, yeah. That
Oh,
can
I'm
also
sorry, I
work.
thought you needed to see.
Yeah, I do. I look around the room to see it's actually empty and no one hiding in the corner.
Uh-huh. Go ahead and make me a perception check. Fel, you hear from the stairwell a couple of individuals who watched your performance go, "Yeah, Fel, what happened? What happened? What happened? We heard a crash. What's going on? What's going on? Tell us, give us the details, give us the play-by-play."
Well, the play-by-play is this. Have the booze you want. It's a lock-in.
All right, and they start heading down the stairs. There's a huge rush towards the downstairs as you hear the sound of tankards scraping on wood and the sound of bottles being pulled off of shelves. And Casca kind of just looks over in your direction and goes, "Hey, you're probably right. That's a good idea." Sorry. So, okay. You're making two separate perception rolls. You would not see any individuals in the room. However, Sparks would notice that there is, just at the foot of the bed, there's a small tear of what looks like some uncured leather.
Alright, so pick it up. Is it fresh?
It's not
Like, is it...
freshly torn. Yes.
Yeah,
A
freshly
fresh
torn.
piece of leather. No, but it looks like a piece of leather that might be covering perhaps a pair of shoes.
All right. Well, the light helped. Look what I found. It looks like a boot, like a piece of a boot.
Piece of shoe
Tuo,
for sure.
as you are just getting fully upright at this point, and you can feel this strange crick in your back as you get up, and you sort of shift a little bit, and there's this loud pop as something sets back into place. You would see the individual known as Jason making his way down the street, pointing towards the inn, and there are like two guards. The guards are in a half plate with a well kept but unfortunately soaked at this point blue gamberson, blue cotton gamberson underneath. They would each have a spear in their right hands and a slightly larger than normal buckler strapped to their left arms, as well as an emergency dagger hooked into their belts, and a rather short sword, short sword, also clipped onto their belts. And they look like they're making their way towards the establishment when they come towards the lip or the mouth of the alleyway, and the two guards look towards you.
Hi.
I'm sorry. Who are you? What's going on? And Jason immediately goes, No, that's Tuo. He's the cook. Don't worry about him. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. Tuo, what did you do?
I'm the cook. We are chasing a lead. And he
one of the
points to
guards
Davida.
looks up
To
towards the window. Goes, what happened to the window?
Chasing a lead.
Uh-huh. Alright. Perhaps you should come back inside. We'll want to speak to you. And the two of them make their way towards the front of the establishment. David, in the meantime, you calmly made your way down to the alleyway without breaking anything or smashing your head against anything. And you can see that there is this
Weird, I
piece
know.
of cloth that is still heavily soaked with the rain.
All right. I'll take out the dagger and pick it up with it.
Okay. You take out a dagger and pick it up. You can see immediately it is. It's not just any cloth. It's actually a silk. Very finely made from its immediate appearance. Go ahead and make me just a straight intelligence check as you look over this piece of cloth, or this piece of silk, I should say. 17. You'd probably put this at a silk imported from the Western Imperium. More than likely, it came from Newhafen or Jutfort. Jutfort. More than likely.
Is that expensive?
It's definitely up there in cost. It's not the most expensive silk that you could buy, but it's probably usually individuals within the lower or lesser nobility would have access to that sort of material for their clothing. The dog goes yelling off into the distance down the alleyway.
What does it seem like it was part of? Can I tell? Or is it just
Probably
a cloth?
part of robes or a tunic, and it got ripped off somehow. You're not entirely sure how. It's a bit jagged in the rip.
Okay, but it wasn't like ripped off specifically here. It was dropped somehow here.
Dropped, more than likely somehow.
I'll put the dagger away and we'll take a look around if there's anything else.
Okay, investigation check. with a 4. Unfortunately, if there were any other clues in this alleyway, the rain has probably washed them off by now.
Can I also have a look?
Sure.
You never know when the crushing cook may surprise you.
I'm waiting
This
for the natural
looks more
20.
like the crashing cook.
No, not a
13.
natural 20. 13. No.
Unfortunately, yeah. You're a little distracted by the weird ache that's beginning to form towards your tailbone, but, you know, other than that, you're alright. And David has got a cloth in his hands.
So, can I have half the coin now?
How much did I get from?
I'm assuming
How
that you
much did I
slipped the
pocket?
platinum into your pocket.
All right. I'll. I'll take out the gold and say, of course.
Thanks.
Okay. 2-0, go ahead and add a gold piece to your inventory.
All right.
David, -1 from yours.
+1 plat.
He would have noticed it was a coin, but not what kind of coin. Like,
Should've gone for
his
silver.
passive was only 1 higher, so like, and he's just happy he gets a coin.
Sure, absolutely. Meanwhile, upstairs, away from the investigations of the alleyway, what's everybody else doing?
After seeing 2-0 just 100% dive out of the window and destroy the window, she's going to be kind of like, well, I mean, we proved that the little halfling guy didn't do it. Yeah, and the guards are coming. I'm not sure what else. Yeah, it's time for a drink. So she's going to go back down and get a drink.
As you begin to hear the conversation picking up downstairs. All right. And
Right.
it's around there that we are going to go ahead and take our break. And we will be back more for the 4th Age of Katalia. See you soon, folks. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Fourth Age of Katalia. So, picking back up where we left off, Cinnamon, Jasmine, you two are staring down at the investigating David and Tuo, who have been looking around for clues, and it looks like David has something in his hands, probably what he was going after the first time, but Tuo unfortunately is coming up with nothing, and no additional clues have been found. You've got that piece of old leather from a shoe that you found at the bottom of the bed, and a bunch of now very happy patrons who are drinking to their heart's content, I should say, downstairs. And there's a bit of liveliness that is returned downstairs as well. And there's a tiny bit of back and forth that you can hear coming between Casca and Dr. Nunian Sun from within the office itself.
Yasmin will turn towards Fel and say, Fel, I'm going to need your help.
Sure, what can I do for you?
Well, I need you to catch everyone's attention so I can tell who the killer is.
You already know?
I know one of the two.
Do you want us to maybe lock the doors first, or?
Might be good. Maybe we can call Casca and that Nunian's son, and maybe in an open place downstairs or something.
Sorry, what was that bit about open place? Didn't quite catch my thought.
If you can get somehow Casca and Nunian's son into the open place where the rest of the patrons are, I guess, and maybe call in. Well, I think Tuo is good to have. He's probably good if it becomes a fight of this.
Sure, I'll do. And she'll do so.
Okay.
I'll lean out of the window and shout down. You two, get your ass inside again.
Fel, as you make your way towards the office, there's a tiny bit of back and forth between Casca and Nunian. As Nunian's just like, I'm telling you, you believe me, right? It wasn't me. So, I'll stay around, for the investigation, for them to, prove my innocence. I feel, a little bit responsible. I didn't hear what happened in the room, but overall, it's a bit grim. But hey, maybe you'll take over a little sooner than you were hoping. Casca goes, why would you say that? I don't want to take this place over. This was... No! And that's what you hear as you get closer to the office. I assume that you're standing there in the doorway at this point, Fel.
Oh. Yeah, she'll just kind of give it a bit of a knock.
Oh. They both look over towards you. Yes. Have you found anything else?
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of gather everybody in just to kind of have everyone in one place and just
Fantastic.
Carve them down. So, yeah. So,
All right.
come
Lead the
on
way.
over just so.
Lead the way.
Sure.
And Nunian will follow you, and Casca kind of just looks around, takes a look over the office one more time, and when her eyes fall on Caldo's body, she kind of, at first it looks like she's about to show a bit of emotion, and then she sees the book on his chest, and there's just like this nod that she gives before, or shaking of her head that she gives as she makes her way out the door, following behind you. Going downstairs, making your way into the main dining hall itself. You can see that the individuals have gladly taken up your suggestion. The shelves mostly empty and devoid of this point of the various bottles that were there, and spread around the various tables as individuals have grouped up once more and are happily drinking away. Doesn't look like any card games or anything are going on, but all eyes do fall upon the three of you as Fel, you begin to lead the two of them downstairs.
Do I see that Jasmine has managed to grab Tio and everybody else in yet, or?
Well, Jasmine and Cinnamon are still upstairs, and you would have heard Cinnamon yell down to Tuo and David, who I assume are making their way towards the front door at this point.
Yep.
And it's about as you get to the bottom of the stairs that the door to the establishment would open, and two guards would make their way in through the front door. And the first one goes, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is an investigation. You're all on lockdown, just so you know, till we figure things out. Ma'am," and the other guy goes, kind of nudges him immediately and says, "That's Fel. That's Fel. She's real good." And he goes, "Fel, if you could please join everybody else. We need to see everybody else. Is there anyone upstairs? Is there anyone upstairs?"
Yasmin is coming down.
Okay.
I'm following close behind.
Okay.
Mesa's at the bar. She's actually, so that she can see over people's heads, she's actually seated on the bar counter, and she's turned around to look at everyone that's gathered there.
Okay.
With like her feet on the stool or whatever.
Okay, I got you. David and Tuo, the two of you would, at this point, open the door to the inn.
David would open it for 2-0 or step in, and then he will try to slip in behind him so it isn't, so no one pays attention to him,
Stealth check.
and stay close to the door.
What is Nasa, Fel, Cinnamon, and Jasmine's passive?
Ooh,
I
don't think it's
16 in my
20.
case.
My passive is 10.
Okay.
Passive what, sorry?
My
Passive
cat
perception.
is 13.
Where's passive
It's
perception?
the one in the square, in the bracket. Well,
Just 10.
well,
Oh, okay. It's 11.
So you all would see Tuo make his way in, but David is nowhere to be seen. Where are you headed, by the way?
I want to stay near the door so I can just slip out if things is looking bad.
So you just quietly slip into a chair next to some of the sailors who don't really pay you any mind as you slip into a chair behind them, and sort of lean up against the wall, ready to make your way out the door if necessary. And you would watch as one of the guards, the older one, makes his way into the center of the room and takes a quick look around, gauging everyone's faces. Doesn't seem to notice you, David, and then he makes his way upstairs. Casca immediately pipes up, I'll take you to him," and the two of them begin disappearing up the stairs.
I want to try to nudge Fel that, like, can you please make them pay attention to me before they walk upstairs?
Sure. And she'll kind of like jump on the bar, kind of, tap, tap, tap to get everyone's attention, and offer a hand to Jasmine to get her to stand on up so she can speak.
Very uncomfortable, she goes up.
As
doesn't-
the entire place goes quiet once more.
Hi, I'm Yasmin, and we have made breakthroughs in the investigation already that you might want to hear. Looks to the guard.
The older one who was going up the stairs kind of stops and goes, "Please enlighten us." And everyone else is like, "Yeah. What happened? What happened?"
All right, everyone was downstairs here and listening to the wonderful performance of Fell here, except Nunion's son, but he was in the stairs walking down as we heard something fall upstairs.
Soon? Everyone says son, it's soon. But yes, the young lady is correct.
And after that, we all rushed up, and Nunion's soon was closest, so they could get there. I took the liberty to actually walk outside to see if someone tried to jump out the windows and so on, and saw that it was almost impossible to jump out the window from that room, but very plausible to get in. Upstairs, he unfortunately have died, and he was also stabbed in the neck. But and it turns over towards Cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
Cinnamon, can you tell me about how he died?
Cinnamon sort of turns to the crowd and just turns slightly red. Well, the stab wound and the stab wound and the bruises, most of them were inflicted post-mortem. So, meaning he was already dead when it happened. All the signs seem to point to him having had a heart attack. However, I don't think it was natural. There were signs of poison in his mouth, cut in the lip from possibly the bottle. He might have been forced to drink something. We also found the remains of a bottle or something, the lights that smelled like ammonia. Yeah, but I do think that might be what killed him.
All right. Upstairs as well, we found 2, 3, 4 footprints in that order with wet stains, showing that someone had probably come from the outside through the open window and is most likely an accomplice in this crime. It also ran across the walkway and opened the door and closed the door and made it out of the window. And she holds up the leather piece. This is fresh leather that was torn off from one of the, wood carves on the bed, meaning it was very much in a rush.
There's a hand that goes up in the back of the room over near David. It's one of the sailors.
Yeah, question?
Yeah, what's ammonium?
We will come to it's a poison.
Oh, okay. Puts his hand.
Well, it can be used as a poison. It's a byproduct it's probably part of the poison. And she gets really technical and says some chemist bullshit basically. And then she seems to lose in the room. So she's like, Cinnamon, how long would you say from someone died to it will not bleed from being stabbed in the neck?
How long would I say?
That is a good question. As if you are aware of the answer to this, let me know.
It is fairly long because the heart don't stop beating right away, and it stops bleeding when the heart stops beating. Even if you have a heart attack, it will pulse and do strange things. So you will bleed. Probably heart attack is the fastest way to stop bleeding, but it still takes many minutes. I think it's up to 20, but I'm unsure exactly how long it is when it is the heart attack.
Would there have been blood, basically? Yeah. I guess the question is.
Not a whole lot, so yeah. Probably
Yeah.
definitely stabbed post-mortem.
There was too little blood for him to be dead for long, so... Which is confusing.
Yeah. as we have testimony that everyone heard from Nunian's son, that he talked to him and walked straight down the stairs. And then we heard something falling. And when we came up, the dagger was in the wound. It is impossible for the person not to bleed if he was stabbed to death so close, meaning that the Nunian's son was in the room when he was declared dead. Then he walked down, otherwise he could not have been stabbed already, and therefore he would be blood if he was stabbed just before that point, even if the poison had killed him. Meaning that Nunian's son is an accomplice in this.
I knew it!
No, it's not true! It's not true! It's not, I didn't do anything, I swear!
Can I go rush towards Nunionson?
You may, yes. As you rush towards him, you'd see one of the guards go, whoa, whoa. Go ahead and make me a dexterity check, because I assume you're going to go grab him. And this guy is
when grabbing is it... so athletics or acrobatics?
Whichever's higher for you.
Muscles. Oh yeah, baby!
Oh boy.
It's my time to shine. That natural 20, finally.
The younger guard tries to get in between you and Nunionsun, and you immediately bull rush past him and get your hands onto Nunion. And he goes, oh, no, not this again, no!
This time I don't hold him up, I pick him up and slam him.
Okay.
I'm Dad.
All right, so you need to make me a charisma check. However, make a unarmed attack beforehand.
Okay, wait. So, give me a second. Where's my unarmed or claws? Let's say he has his claws out.
17. Yeah, that's definitely there's a loud thwack of halfling hitting floor.
That's max damage. And then a charisma save.
All right. Okay. So, the halfling goes limp in Tuo's arms as he slams him into the ground, and right as the skull smacks into wood, there is this wave of calm that falls over you. Cinnamon, what does it look like when you're casting?
I'm imagining, you know, the tufts of dandelion seeds.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine those sort of start swirling around and filling a circle in the room.
So there's this display of verbal and somatic incantation.
Verbal, somatic, and yes.
Okay, fantastic. So there's this display of an incantation, and a few words begin to spill quickly out of Cinnamon's mouth, and Tuo, you sort of begin to hear them as you slam this halfling into the floor, and a second later, you feel this great relaxation run over you as you are calmed, and you feel a little at peace, but still a little peeved that the doctor did this, but you're not as angry at him as you feel you should be.
I buzz over to the doctor. Does he still seem alive?
That would take me a medicine check for everyone who's nearby.
I'm just holding my mouth. Like,
I guess I am nearby.
Sure, yeah. With an 8, no idea. 21. Natural 20. Okay. Alright. So, Cinnamon and Fell. 2-0 smash indeed. As this individual is unconscious, currently dying, but still technically alive. As there is a very shallow breathing as blood begins to leak out of his cracked skull.
There would be
I'm
impacts
on my way
in
to that
his
one
like
to
chest from
cast
my
healing
claws
word.
as well,
Oh, sorry, few wounds.
because it was a claw attack, not a punch.
Okay, Cinnamon, you reach out and begin to cast again. This time casting Cure Wounds. Go ahead and roll me. Okay, 11 points. All right, back up to full.
Nice.
So, there's as this spark of arcane energy rushes over this individual's body, you watch as the breathing returns to normal once again, and there is the light sound of shifting bone, as he still remains unconscious, but he is stabilized and alive.
Big man.
The guards
Really?
immediately turn upon you, Tuo. The young one.
They would have also been in the cure wounds range, because it's not one individual, it's an area of effect of 20
Calm
radius.
emotions, you mean, yeah.
Calm emotions. So the
think
guards would
the
be
calm
calmed as
emotions.
well.
Yeah. So they look towards you, Tuo, and they both go, "What in the absolute hell have you done?" The young one, who particularly, he comes here every once in a while, he goes, "Tuo, no violence! No!" And the older gentleman goes, I'm sorry to say this, but we're going to have to place you under arrest."
I know the way.
And with that, the older one, not the younger one, comes over towards you, pulls a set of manacles from his belt, and quickly slips them onto your wrists as they take you by the shoulders and begin leading you out.
You have to take him as well. He points over to Nunyan soon.
The other one goes, right. This is the younger one. He goes, right. Pulls out his set of manacles and kind of just looks at the unconscious guy and goes, clasps him in manacles and carefully, like trying to pick up a baby, begins to pick him up. Goes, "I think we should take you to a doctor for..." Yeah. The door to the tavern opens, and you can see, as the camera follows Tuo, the older one grabs a small bell on his belt and begins to ring it very loudly, signaling for other guards. There is the sound of
I'm not
clinking.
resisting.
No,
I
you're
wouldn't
not
hurt
resisting.
you
You're not
guys.
resisting. We just need a little bit of extra assistance. There's the sound of metal boots hitting wet stone down the street, and after about a minute's time, two other guards make their way around the corner. They begin to ask
Hi,
questions.
Dave.
Oh, hey, Tuo, what did you do this time? God dang it, Tuo! I just arrested you last week! And
I'm
that's what you all
sorry.
hear as the door closes. Tuo, unfortunately, you are carted off to jail. You would not see where Dr. Noonian soon goes, as he is taken to a medical facility first. The rest of you, what are you up to?
I climb down from the bar and try to sit down somewhere.
Edith's gonna move over to. Sorry, I dropped your name, Arcy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, man. Was there anything
awesome.
else that you wanted to say?
No, I mean, I wanted to give Nunyan Sun a chance to explain and tell us who his accomplice is. Maybe he was also under threat or something. I don't know. It is. I mean, I only know what I said. I don't know the circumstances to why they did what they did, and that was, I guess, my next part to ask. Why did this happen? But
I
he's
don't know.
unconscious now, so.
Right, I think the creepy guy's coming up.
Hi.
Can't be talking about me, can you?
Well, to be fair, you look a bit creepy.
I'll take that
mean,
as a compliment.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's not too creepy. Like, let's be real.
I don't
Thank
find
you,
him.
Right,
darling.
I'm gonna need booze, and I'll fly off to try and find a bottle.
It is not hard. You can either choose from the bottles that are littering the tables at this point, or find one of the fancy-pantsy, far too sweet for the average Joe wines that have been left on the shelves behind the bar.
I'm gonna grab one of those and fly it off to the table.
Bit of conversation begins to pick up again in the tavern.
And David is gonna slip down on the chair next to Yas. Yas, was it?
Yes.
Well, aren't you the bright kid?
I mean, there wasn't anything special I did. I just said what I have seen.
It was very well put together, and you have an eye for things.
They say that I have keen eyes, so I guess so.
What about this then? And he will take out the cloth he found. What does it mean?
Do I recognize anything about it?
Go ahead and make me an intelligence check.
You want just flat intelligence or
Just flat
history or
intelligence
something?
check.
It's a piece of cloth.
Yeah, it's a piece of silk. You know it's silk.
Still looks recently torn. Maybe it's wet. I guess there is some follow-up question I'm not lacking here.
Well, I'm not completely certain, but I found it in the alleyway outside of the other room.
Oh. So we have a piece of boots, and she holds up the leather that the guards didn't take from her because they got distracted. And the shirt. So if the guards would find someone that have both the broken shirt and this, it would be kind of easy to identify.
Yes, it is pretty common silk. Well, it isn't anything very special at least, but
Well, it's still silk, so I guess whoever he worked for maybe. I mean, if Noonien Sun hired someone to help him, it would make sense. It would be someone in his price range. I'm not so versed in, well, the dealings of the Undercity, or what do you call it. I don't really know this exactly what you hire. But I read stories.
how did the price range on Sun correlate to the silk? Was it like similar? How does it look?
Visually,
Well, yeah.
Noonien Soon would come off. His general attire underneath the laboratory coat is like middle class, but his laboratory coat looks like it was probably decently tailored. So you're not entirely sure.
All right, but it looks maybe not as well. But he could maybe afford it then, or is it a stretch?
You are unfortunately that is where your brain is sitting as a character as well, because you don't know a whole lot about Noonien Soon's finances or his normal everyday life. So
Yeah, that's fair.
I will land the bottle on the table and sort of walk over to the silk if it's on the table. Just lift it up to my nose and just sniff it. Any ammonia?
investigation check.
Oof. This is gonna hurt. Yup.
2.
Ah!
There's a little bit of that ghost pepper stench that's still in the air, so unfortunately you get a wave of spice that just like fills your nostrils and
So
Nothing.
I look at him and he's like smelling this cloth, and I'm gonna ask Cinnamon, mean, I could change into something and smell it for you if you want me to.
I was just curious if there was any smell of ammonia in this, but if it was, the rain washed it out, I think. Anyway, can anyone help me with this bottle? It's kind of hard to pour. As I put like a tiny tankard on the table.
David will reach out and pour you a glass if no one else does.
Thanks.
Of course.
Casca heads over to Fel. Hey, question. Didn't Caldo say good job on the performance while he was upstairs?
Yeah, he did. Shame he didn't actually sit around and see it. Might have saved his laugh. But
So
yeah, hang on. Unless someone's a real good mimic,
Wait, what?
he said it was a good show, so
But
it
he
couldn't
was
have even.
upstairs.
It's barely minutes. Well, yeah, he called from upstairs, unless it was someone who was a good mimic. Would have been
Well, that makes
moments.
no sense.
Moments before he fell. Not the length you said. It doesn't add up.
not to mention, I mean, how long did you say it takes for blood to be weird and post?
It takes more than actual minutes, so he must have been dead for a while.
Yeah,
Before
but
the performance,
he was
more
like
than
here.
likely.
He was like in the bar. He was like, he talked to everybody, seemed to know everybody, right?
It should not be possible.
There's that Benjamin guy that we don't know.
How
That
long
was on
the
his books.
performance?
Mellor? Sorry, go ahead. You were asking a question, Azzy?
No, I interrupted. Nice. Continue your thing first.
Go ahead.
There was that Benjamin Schimmer guy on his books that was on schedule about 2 hours before. That's what
That's true.
Casca said.
It's 2 hours around our timeline?
How long was the performance?
The performance, I would say, probably lasted, 5 minutes, Phil? At the most.
It was
Then-
various, like, this one song. It wasn't even a full set. Is there, like, any magic or poisons or anything that can slow down the blood, maybe?
Well,
Possibly.
it may be poison that can change the difference with a bit, but and she like thinks and does some. She seems to take up a pen and do some calculations, and then I think that he wouldn't have time to go upstairs and die and stop bleeding, unless the poison did something and clotted his blood. So maybe whoever walked around here was someone pretending to be Caldo, or Caldo could walk around while being dead because of something. But that sounds like a horror story.
I'm trying to remember if anything was off about him in the hours before all this.
I will send Sparks up and see if the body is still there. And Sparks starts running.
Okay. The cat runs off the stairs. Cinnamon, post-mortem insight check.
There we go. Oof.
Perfectly
I
normal.
got nothing.
Is the body still there?
Yes, Sparks would find one super dead body.
Alright.
Investigation check for Sparks.
Not perception. I don't think she's investigating it. She's more like looking. But
Yeah,
I can do it.
perception then. Yeah.
Alright. She has. Is it about smell or sight?
Smell is not involved here, so unfortunately,
Alright.
sight.
Well, she rolls good anyway.
Wow. Okay. With a 20, Sparks would notice that there is a small, thin bit of the carpet that's a little, or not small, thin, but like a portion of the carpet behind the desk is far cleaner than it should be. Almost like somebody tampered with the carpet magically.
Then yes, would say, I should probably go upstairs and into the room and check for magic things. It seems like magic is involved in there.
Oh, wait, I'll come with. And I'll buzz onto her shoulder. Permission to land?
Okay.
Okay, and I'll sit down on her shoulder.
And yeah, well, are you rest of you coming or?
Well, I'm certainly
Turning
coming.
around.
Casca sort of stands up, scratches her head. Ooh, okay. Alright, let's do this.
I guess if there is someone mimicking and taking, maybe Ninian Sohn's book to mimicking is innocent, but it is still strange coincidences rarely happen. And she keeps walking. She was like talking to herself almost, as she was going through the things in her head.
So, sorry, everybody who's going upstairs. Jasmine, Casca, Fel? Okay. Cinnamon is on Jasmine's shoulder. David?
Yeah, he comes with.
Okay. Nasa? You watch as David is going up the stairs. What does Nasa do?
Did Casca take that appointment book?
Yes, Casca is the last individual seen with the appointment book.
Cardinals should still be upstairs. Yes.
I'm gonna grab the journal on his chest and I'm gonna ask Casca for the appointment book.
Oh,
Okay.
as we're going upstairs as well, by the way.
In that room?
Uh,
I thought it was going to like. I may have misunderstood. I'm sorry.
No, I was asking if you were going to head up with everybody else.
Yeah, that's fine.
To go back there. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, you guys would make it all up there, and yes,
Jasmine,
the journal would still be there.
This might be I don't know, but it might be helpful. And I sort of blow some dust in her face. As I
Face?
give her the eyes of night and give her 300 feet dark vision.
Christ. Okay.
To try and help out with spotting more details.
Jasmine, there's this cloud of dust, almost like a cloud of someone blowing cigarette smoke in your face that slams into your eyes, and your eyes immediately have this light burning sensation. And for a second, you begin to panic, and then you try and quickly get to your eyes to get whatever it is out. But then you feel like this warmness to your eyes, and as you begin to try and blink, you can see a lot better in this room. A whole lot better.
Oh, that's useful but uncomfortable.
That's why I said this might be a bit uncomfortable, but
You
never know, it might help to get more detail in between light and dark.
Well,
Also, let me... And I sort of blow some dust into my own face after that. And I'm going to cast the invisibility just in case there's anything iffy around.
Ooh,
As I also start looking around the room.
Cinnamon, investigation check or perception check, and Jasmine. Now that you have this wonderful dark vision that makes the room practically bright, as you can see every little nook and cranny. What would you like to do?
I first use prestidigitation on my boots to make them dry, and then I will walk inside and really hug the wall, avoiding the dead body. She clearly seems very uncomfortable near it.
22 Cinnamon, there's no one in this room, hiding invisible, and there are no objects that are invisible in this room.
Right, you look around here, I'll check the other room just real quick.
Detect magic with one action. I use my special feature. So I get it without doing a ritual of it.
Okay, fantastic. Detecting magic, there is a heavy arcane essence coming from where you notice the particularly clean portion of the rug of the transmutation school.
I will move closer, summon a mage hand that will carefully lift up the carpet to try to look beneath that corner, or if it's something on the corner, like...
As you use the mage hand to lift that up, you notice not only is the top of the, not carpet, but rug, immaculately cleaned, so is the floor beneath it. I mean, the wood practically looks new underneath that particular patch of rug. Cinnamon, you go into the room with the now broken out window. I would like you to make me a perception check with advantage.
Well, he does that. Do my characters feel like it's a weak transmutation aura, like it's a cantrip that's been used here?
Yes.
18?
Give me 1 second. Yes, it's more than likely a cantrip that was used here several times over. With this much saturation, you're probably looking at a solid minute spent casting the spell. Let's see here. And I need to do a private roll. So, as you were looking around the room, Cinnamon, you come to the back right corner of the room, where the door normally swings open, and it would close off like a little pocket of the room as it swings open. And as your eyes fall there, you would see an individual with slicked back black hair that is in a bit of a mohawk. The sides are shaved, but not entirely. Wearing a silk blue robe that goes down to about the knees. These dark black pants underneath. 2 leather moccasins on their feet. And these hand wraps around their hands. And just as they notice that you see them, they immediately jab towards you. Oh, I need to... I don't have this set up in their inventory because Friday was inventory based. So for that, it is... I will make this a public roll. Does a 13 hit?
My armor class, surprisingly, is 14, but that is assuming that I'm wearing my shield out, and I don't think I have my shield.
I don't think you were wearing your shield out, so how much does your shield add to your AC?
2, so that would be 12.
Alright, so a 13 in this instance, because you are not prepared for an attack, and you don't have your shield at the ready, does in fact hit you. Alright, in that case... 1 second... And then...
He was in the room all the time, or they were in the room all the time. Oh no.
You take 12 points of bludgeoning damage as you are smacked full force with a fist. What is Cinnamon's hit points looking like?
I have 3 left.
Okay. Extra attack, they attack again. However, I will give you a chance to yell out.
Cinnamon starts screaming the house together.
Okay. All right. Everyone go
As
ahead
loud
and
as
make
he
me
can.
a perception check. And here comes the next one. This time I will allow you to pull up your shield for defense.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
First
Jasmine.
episode, first death.
Yes.
Imagine.
Sparks. Yes. Everyone else, for some odd reason, we just hear a That's about it. As 19 hits, correct? Nine points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm out.
Okay. Cinnamon is knocked unconscious.
And he drops
Do-
to the floor.
and you
Do we
drop to the
see-
floor.
Do we see Cinnamon dropping to the floor?
He's in the other room. He's in the room with the shattered glass. You guys are in the office. But you guys would hear
Jasmine,
or Jasmine and Sparks would both like hear this light thud after you hear Cinnamon yell something out.
Cinnamon just yelled out, and then it became quiet. I think something happened to him.
I'm gonna run into that room.
Okay, you guys begin making your way towards that room. Perception check once again from everybody. Nasa, you get advantage.
Please don't trip over me.
Detect magic is still on, by the way, if that helps.
Okay. In that case, do it with advantage as well, because you have detect magic. Detect magic.
Well, I still rolled crap. Let's hope Sparks sees something. No,
Nope.
we are
Okay.
all just
All
running
right.
in.
So Nasa, you would immediately, as you come around the corner, you would clock that Cinnamon is in the center of the room, unconscious, still breathing, and you would just see the bottom of the feet of a pair of moccasins falling out of the window.
Falling out of the window?
Yes.
Oh. Hold on.
Everyone else at this point piles up behind Nasa, trying to see what happens, and you guys would all see Cinnamon on the floor unconscious.
I'm gonna go into direwolf form and jump out the window and chase him.
All right, this takes a bonus action for you to change forms.
Yeah.
It's instantaneous, correct?
Yep.
All right, fantastic. So, does your armor stay on the outside, retract inside, or fall off?
It just becomes part of me, but I take on the qualities of a direwolf. So my armor class is the direwolf's armor class.
Great, fantastic. You can try and finagle in the future, depending on what form you take, whether or not your armor stays outside, and if that would be feasible for the animal that you're changing into, just so you know. All right. So you go ahead and you turn into a direwolf. You all begin to watch this transformation. Jasmine, go ahead.
I just wonder, does her fangs count as weapons, or are they counting as something else?
Whose fangs?
Who's fast?
The direwolves.
Oh.
I believe they do.
I have bite attack, which is just one attack. So
Yeah, I just wonder if the
Yes.
technique can, if I can, because this is a bonus action, so maybe I will have time for it. I will touch her side of her mouth and cast magic weapon on her mouth.
A
Make
cast
me
actor count as
a
a natural weapon.
yeah. Make me a dexterity saving throw. Let's see how if you can quickly notice the transformation and then go and quickly hit her before she leaps out of the window herself. 13, I'll give it to you. So you managed to go ahead and get a brief touch on her, and you're casting what?
Magic weapon.
Okay, magic weapon. Fantastic. Alrighty. So, what does it look like when Jasmine casts this spell?
So she's like always running around with her book on the side, and as she moves over with the hand, the book starts to glow, and purple streaks like hits the back of her fingers, and then she like touches with the fingers on the mouth, and then purple just spreads around in the mouth basically. So it looks like kind of light. So I guess a lot of light effects.
Sure. So you feel this warmth rush over you, Nesa, as you begin to transform, and you feel as though your bite might have a little bit more impact. As you go to leap out the window, make me a athletics or acrobatics, whichever's higher for you. As a wolf.
Actually, so the dexterity as a wolf has a +2, and this has a +1. So I'm just letting you know I need to add 1.
Okay.
Is it strength or dex, the attack?
It's dex, so it's a 5 anyway.
Ooh. It's not as bad as 2-0's epic jump, but it's close. As you fly through the already pre-broken open window, and you see the alleyway come into view, and almost like in slow motion, like when they take slow-mo in Judge Dredd, the movie, the newer movie, not the older movie. It's a little bit like slow-mo running over you as you jump through this window, and you can perfectly see the alleyway. You can perfectly see this individual, like, with cat's grace landing on both feet, and having sort of that superhero landing into the puddles of rain below in the alleyway. And you're, like, perfectly locked onto them when suddenly your vision is half filled with a stoneway balcony. And
awesome.
Everything speeds up as you smack full force into it, and you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you smack into this balcony, and you sort of just half land, half hurt yourself onto the balcony. And you can see as they're beginning to sprint down the alleyway, and they move at a really fast pace.
I have 50 feet movement, so...
Ooh, boy!
Bring it!
Okay. Alright, make me another athletics acrobatics to safely get off the balcony and into the alleyway. As this individual only manages to get 40 feet down the alleyway, and it looks like he's about
11.
to hit a T intersection.
11.
11. Yeah, with that, you use the dented back alley bin that 2-0 hit earlier to land down onto it and get into the alleyway proper as you begin to run. That would take 10 feet of your movement, so you have the other 40 feet, so you end up right on this individual's heels as they're getting to the T intersection, and they begin to break off to the left, and they can hear you behind them.
I wanna pin him to the ground. That's what I want to do, and just like growl in his face and just hold him there until everybody else catches him. That's what I want to do.
Okay, well, you have 50 feet, so you're going to be able to catch him despite his 40 feet of movement. Go ahead and make me a bite attack. Meanwhile, while she is rolling this, what is everyone else doing?
Well, David is following.
So David is going to spider walk or spider climb out the window again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you all watch as
And-
David just simply steps onto the windowsill and calmly tilts down against the gravity of the planet and just begins casually walking down the side of the building. Jasmine, Cinnamon, Fell.
I'd like to follow too. Would athletics or acrobatics be useful for climbing out, or would it just be better just to run out through the main door? I don't know.
If you'd like to jump out, or if you'd like to try and safely climb out.
Oops.
If you're going to climb, athletics. If you're going to jump, either or. Whichever is your highest.
Acrobatics is higher. So I'll try that.
Whoa.
Wow. Natural.
Someone who actually can jump out of a window.
Fell. With a dancer's grace, you leap out of the window, much like, and Jasmine and Cinnamon, you watch this, much like Tuo did earlier. Only this time, when you see, or when you get close to the other building, like you have perfect control, and David can see this, you quickly flip yourself over, landing partially onto the building with both your feet planted on the wall, kick off of it, backflip over, land perfectly on the main ends wall again, and then carefully slide a little bit down into the alleyway, and you are perfectly, safely into the alleyway. The rain gently falling around you.
I will not do that because that's gonna end bad. I am instead going to turn to Cinnamon and pick him up and see if he's alive, trying to help him somehow. I don't have any medicine kit or anything, but I don't know if Cinnamon had it. I don't even know the anatomy of this creature, but can I
You can make
help
me a medicine
stabilize
check.
him?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm terrible at this. I'm asking my cat for help.
Because you don't have a medical kit, it's at disadvantage. Sparks,
Can aid in stuff if it
can
needs stuff?
aid. Yeah, it technically has the aid ability, so bring it to a normal roll.
Perfect.
9. Unfortunate. You are very unfamiliar with the anatomy of such a creature, and as such, the only thing you know how to do is chest compressions with this sort of thing. So I assume that's what Jasmine begins to do.
I guess he doesn't have any healing potions on him that I can see. I guess so. I'll be like, at the same time, I will start running down and probably shouting like, "Does anyone have a healing potion?"
Okay,
healer?
carrying Cinnamon in one arm, chest compressions with the other, trying to run down into the main tavern portion of the inn itself. Cinnamon, make me a death saving throw.
Oh no.
Roll a natural 20
sitting
and
in
come
front
up
of
with,
it?
with 1 hit point, please.
Yeah, then the chest
My
compression
cat
works.
doesn't
but I
want
will
me to
do
make this roll.
Okay.
15.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
that's
That is a success.
That's good.
So mark off
That's
one
good.
success. All right.
If my cat allows me.
Meanwhile,
Oh, it
David,
automatically does that.
it's at this point that you actually make it in the alleyway. Fell, are you going to go ahead and run after? All right. Fell begins making her way down the alleyway. You can see that this dire wolf of Nasa has just bitten into this individual. With 18, that is definitely going to hit. Roll me damage.
damage was just before Fells, and you need to make a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Okay. You said DC 13 strength?
Yep.
Strength saving throw. Is it at disadvantage? Or normal?
It doesn't say,
Okay, normal.
but
15. Ooh,
well, you're
okay.
not knocked prone.
Not
But
knocked prone, but you grab onto the foot and you tear a bit.
I wanna pin him.
You have +1 damage as well because of the magic weapon.
So okay. 26, not 27. All right.
It's
Fantastic.
+1 to hit and +1 to damage, and it's counted as magical if he has defenses against natural things.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. So, fantastic. You do bite into him, and he gives a little bit of "Oh, God damn it!" And he's going to try and use his other leg to like kick you in the snout. So 20 plus 6. 15.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And he's then going to... I'm assuming that you're like doing that thing where you bite in and then you're just like wiggling your head left and right, trying to do as much damage as possible.
Oh yeah, this is like, I mean, if you know, like Police Canine Dog, oh yeah, totally, on the sleeve, like just
21
totally
for
getting it.
his second attack as he tries to kick again. And that is 10 points of bludgeoning damage. So 18 points total.
10 points?
Yeah. He's then going to use a key point. Oh, flurry of blows. .21 is going to hit. And 9. How's your health doing as a wolf?
Hold on. So, he kicked me in the nose one time. Did
Kicked you in the nose twice.
like two bludgeoning damages, and then after that, what happened? Like, how much damage is that next hit or whatever?
So you took 18 from the first 2 kicks, and then another 9.
This is a professional dog kicker.
Apparently so.
So she poofs back into Nasa's form, and she stands with her quarterstaff, and yeah,
Okay.
she's not injured, but she's in Nasa's form.
All right. So, Jasmine, go ahead and make me a persuasion as you try and plead with the now heavily drinking tavern downstairs for medical help. David and Fell. So 15. An individual who goes, yep. I deal with patients. I think I can do this. And where cracks his knuckles and says, put him down on the bar.
Oh no.
Doing a medicine check. Impaired, so
them.
at disadvantage.
I will try to help him in any way I can.
In that case, all right. Gotcha. So, 12. With a 12 on a medicine check, Cinnamon, you are stabilized. You are no longer dying. David and Fell, at this point you would have reached the fight, and just as you get there, Nasa transforms from her dire form back into her normal form. What would
How
the
far
two of
away
you
are
like to
they?
do? You guys can run right up to them, or you can stop short if you want.
Run right up to them. Get my weapon ready, because I did have my sword ready to do a sword swallowing act later on in the evening. Which, real swords, obviously.
Obviously.
I also just got a note that by the hour I need to hop on off. It's getting a bit late.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So
David will also pull up to daggers and sigh and then move over.
okay, fantastic. The two of you ready your weapons, and I'd allow the two of you to go ahead and make attacks as Nasa has stalled this individual from getting away long enough for you guys to make it up to them and be able to attack.
How do you know attack?
In your inventory, you should have a weapon. You can click that thing, the die to the left. And then you
hit
click on the attack.
Yep. Ooh. Okay. 17 is going to hit.
It's better.
18 is going to hit. So both of you go ahead and David for your second one roll damage, and Fel for your 18 roll damage.
Do I remember correctly if the offhand does slightly less damage? Or
No
is
dex
that-
damage.
No dex, yeah, exactly. Alright, but I do get sneak attack because I have an allies next to him.
You have allies within 5 feet, so.
Oh,
And Fel, you should be able to just press the damage button on the rapier you pasted out before.
I did. I'll do it again.
so yeah, 3 damage and then see sneak attack. 6 more, so 9 total.
9 total.
You should have. Oh, you maybe not. You're not full rogue because otherwise you have 2 sneak damage.
Oh, yeah, no, I am full rogue.
Okay, roll another d6.
I think I forgot to increase it. Is that a level 3 I get to?
Yeah. That's a lot of damage.
Well,
Jesus.
15 then suddenly.
All right. And then for you, Fel, it may have brought up a pop-up that went behind your character sheet, so double check that. Okay, 4. All right.
That was
think
something
that was-
else.
Oh,
The
that was
wrong
a
thing.
no. That was a d20 plus 1. Yeah. Let me see if I can get it to go off. Hold on. To hit damage. Yeah, it's trying to ask
Oh,
you for
you haven't
normal or
set
critical.
it up, I think.
I can actually set it off. I think. No, it's not set up. Crap. All right. In that case,
So I was right that half my sheet wasn't done. I knew it.
correct.
Okay.
All right.
I have a rapier, I could just put that out for the damage
Yep. And then I'll hit that.
if you want to click that.
What is your bonus for your rapier?
Your
What's the
dex.
dex modifier?
I've got 2. I've got +2 and a +4. So I don't know which one you want.
It's a +2,
It's a +2, yeah.
the first one.
So 5. 5 points of damage. All right. With that, he looks extremely bloodied and very hurt as the two of you attack him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are going to stop the episode. We will be back with a continuation of the Fourth Age of Katalia to see the conclusion of the party's first battle. Thank you all so much for coming out. We really
Meanwhile-
appreciate each and every one of you. Meanwhile,
Tua
Tua,
is just playing harmonica, thinking he solved the problem in the jail right now.
all right. Adios, folks.
Adios.
Bye bye.
Yeah.